Hi, my name is Martha Tomle, owner of Matisia Natural Hair Salon, located on 4405 Chestnut Street. We are specializing in locks, natural hair, braids, and etc. Call us for all your natural hair needs. You can reach out at 267-703-2330. If you have pictures or videos you want to send us, you can send it to 267-224-0693.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Derek Yale. Derek Yale.
No frontin', can't talk cause I'm up to something now. I'm up to something, let it be no frontin'.
We feature a team of panelists from different political institutions, different political persuasions, and this panel comes with different styles in discussing national issues.
I'm up to something now. I'm up to something.
If you are living a glass hole, don't throw stone.
No frontin', can't talk cause I'm up to something now. I'm up to something.
Well, good evening, ladies and gentlemen, wherever you're joining us from. I hope you've had a pleasant week so far, and thank you for joining us here on the Liberia Radio and Television Network. And the Liberia Radio and Television Network, is a local media institution right here in Northeast Philadelphia. And LRTN is proud tonight to present to you episode 11 in season 4 of The Horizon. And if this is your first time joining us, The Horizon is an opinion-based talk show that features a team of panelists from different political institutions, different political persuasions, and diverse views on issues surrounding Liberia. And for the next episode, my name is Derek Yale. I'm playing host, and I have my co-host, Mr. David Takwe. He's actually on the phone with one of my panelists, Mr. Jai Winkin Weah. So let me give David an opportunity so I can and welcome him to the show. And also do the same to you, Mr. Jai Winkin Weah. David, welcome to episode 11 of season 4.
Yeah, Derek. It's good on you. Good evening, everyone.
Thank you very much, David. And guys, if you're just joining us, before we go any further, please do us a favor by sharing this program on your Facebook page and also following the network on Facebook and also on YouTube. And that is the Liberia Radio and Television Network, or LRTN Live for short. Just to give you a heads up on what to expect tonight on this episode, as always, we will bring you our current event. And after the current event, we will feature our special guest tonight, the just elected councilman, Mr. David Banto. We'll have a brief conversation tonight with him. And then after that, we will be getting into Liberia's runoff elections. As you know, 2 days ago, the runoff election was held in Liberia, and the Elections Commission is actually in the process of announcing the results. So we will have our conversations surrounding the results that have been announced. And also, we will talk about some of the projections coming from Unity Party and projection from other areas. So we'll bring our panelists on to have that conversation. And then right after there, we will bring you our icebreaker round, and then we will bring you the closing remark from our panelists. And then we'll draw the curtain to this episode. But before we get into any of that, and before I go over to David for our current event, let me again urge you all to please follow this network on Facebook. Make sure you share this program, because we have a lot of things tonight in stock for you. We have a good program coming up for you. So do us a favor, share this program so that your friends and family may be able to benefit from what we have in store tonight. But for now, let me join you, Mr. Jai Winkin Weah, and get our current event from David Takwe. Mr. Takwe.
Okay. Good evening. Thank you, Derek, and good evening to everyone. And Derek, as you already mentioned, the National Elections Commission 2 days ago conducted the runoff presidential election between incumbent President George Weah of the CDC and former Vice President Joseph Walker of the former ruling Unity Party. And Derek, before we came on air, there were celebrations among UP partisans in Monrovia and other parts, and perhaps in other parts of the country. And apparently in the diaspora, We all followed the results announced today by the National Elections Commission. The results put the state keep Joseph Boakai in the lead with 50.58% of votes counted so far, and followed by incumbent President Joe of the CDC with 49.42%, suggesting that Boakai is in the lead. So there were jubilations across the country, across Monrovia, perhaps the other parts of the country, as I said earlier, as a result of these latest results that have been announced by the National Elections Commission. But we're still more votes haven't been counted or haven't been reported by the National Elections Commission. Partisans and supporters of the coalition for democratic change of Georgia are still confident that they still have the chance to win the runoff election. So I followed the social media posts and I was in the street, and the CDC partisans and supporters are still confident that come tomorrow will be their day to celebrate. That is, tomorrow results that will be reported and announced by the National Elections Commission will put the CDC in the lead or make the CDC a potential winner of the just ended runoff election. And in fact, both parties, that is the CDC and the Unity Party, had both planned to stage pre-victory parades in the street of Monrovia tomorrow, Friday. The CDC planned a pre-victory parade. The Unity Party has also planned a pre-victory parade for tomorrow, Friday. That means that both parties are all confident or overly optimistic that they will win, they will emerge victorious. But as far as the elections are concerned, one person or one party is expected to win. So depending on the result that comes out tomorrow from the National Elections Commission, everyone, including the CDC and the Unity Party supporters, will make a determination as to who will be the next president of Liberia. And besides that, just yesterday, Yeke Komobad, who is one of the staunch supporters of the ruling party, led a group of supporters of what is now called the UP Alliance in the streets, not necessarily central Monrovia, but in the central area, the other parts of Congo Town, celebrating what they call the victory of the Unity Party. Although the National Elections Commission has been warning or repeatedly warned the two parties and the supporters to stop the pre-victory celebrations until the commission, the electoral commission, can announce final results or declare a winner, until any party or the supporters can get into the streets to celebrate. And Derek, the name Linda Thomas Grimshill, Grimsville in Liberia, is a household name in Liberia. She served as U.S. ambassador to Liberia during the regime of former President Ellen Johnson Sirleaf. Quite recently, she issued a statement commending Liberians, all Liberians, both in and outside the country, for upholding the tenets of democracy, for taking part in an election that has appeared peaceful, or for conducting themselves responsibly, avoiding disturbances that could put the country backward or take it back to the bad days. So Linda Thomas Grimshill has issued a statement commending Liberians for their peaceful manner in which they conducted themselves during both the first leg of the elections and then the runoff elections. So Linda Thomas Grimshill made a statement quite recently. And as I speak to you, even though it's Friday morning, everyone has gone to bed, but there is the streets in the park, jam-packed several streets, mainly Cherry Street, where you have almost all the intellectual centers. The streets are packed with a bucket of people, partisans of both the UP and the CDC in street corner discussing the way forward for Liberia and debating whether the CDC will actually merge with terrorists tomorrow or the United Party of Joseph Walker will retain the lead until they make and declare Joseph Walker the next president of the Republic of Liberia. Well, as I speak to you, even partisans of the European others have started referring to President Weah as former president. So far, Derek, that's what I can tell you for now. Derek?
Thank you. I was on mute, but thank you very much, Mr. Takwe, for that splendid reporting. I just have one question though on the issue of the of both parties planning to have a celebration tomorrow. I did see a press statement from the Ministry of Justice on social media. I don't know how authentic it is, but do you think those celebrations are still going to take place? And can you confirm if that press statement from the Ministry of Justice actually?
Well, I doubt it, Derek, that any of the party or either of the party will stage a pre-victory parade tomorrow, because as it stands, until the National Elections Commission can declare a winner, both the CDC and United Party still remain uncertain that Joseph Walker or George Weah will emerge victorious. Even though from what we see so far from the results that have been announced by the National Elections Commission, puts the United Party in the lead, giving it that has 99% confidence that Joseph Walker will emerge victorious. But yet still, the CDC and its partisans and supporters are also determined, 100% is determined and hopeful that tomorrow, with the remaining results that will be announced tomorrow, the CDC will overwhelm the United Party's Joseph Walker, and Joshua will get a second term as far as citizens and other supporters of Mr. Weah and the CDC are concerned.
Thank you very much, Mr. David Takwe. I know you will be. I don't know if you'll stay on to follow on with the show. Well, I hope you will do that. So if you have any contribution on the show later on, so you can join us. But anyways, guys, the only other current event we have here is tomorrow at 11 a.m. The Lone Star of Liberia will be taking on Malawi at the Samuel Kayondos. I'm sorry. Yes, the Lone Star of Liberia will be taking on Malawi, and just for the sake of information, the last time these two met, the Lone Star emerged victorious on a 1-0. That is September 4th, 2012, and I'm looking at the record here. And there are predictions. The Lone Star of Liberia stand at 26% chance to win that game tomorrow. So put your political cap down or whatever you're wearing and go celebrate Lone Star tomorrow at the Samuel Kayondos Sports Complex. But guys, that's it for our current events. Before we introduce our panelists and our special guests for tonight, let me encourage you again to please share this program on your Facebook page, and also make sure to follow the network and encourage your friends and family to do the same. But for now, let me have my panelists on the screen for the introductions and have our special guest tonight, beginning with Miss Bishop Cephas Reeves. Bishop Reeves, welcome to episode 11, season 4 of The Horizon.
Thank you.
Thank you very much. Mr. Martin Boulder, welcome to another episode.
Thank you for having me. It's a pleasure to be here.
Thank you very much. Mrs. Collins, welcome to another episode.
Thank you.
And Mloji Choppy Charlie, welcome back.
Yeah, it's good to be back. I don't know if it's important for me to make a correction on the news.
Go ahead.
Yes, the CDC has not planned a march in the street. There's never. So I think that is not correct. CDC did not issue any such statement.
Thank you very much, Blojo Choppy Charlie, Mr. John Winkin. The report from our correspondent still stands, but thank you for making that correction. Mr. John Winkin, we are welcome to another episode. You're muted. Go ahead, Mr. Weir. You're muted.
Okay, yeah. So I said, like, thank you, Derek. Bloje, welcome back. My fellow panelists, welcome back. We are now all waiting, all ears in Liberia, waiting for the result of the elections. But we thank God so far there is no violence. Thank you, Liberians.
Thank you very much. That is very important. We thank God there has been no violence so far. But again, let me now welcome Mr. David G. Bantu, the councilman-elect, Upper Darby 6th District. This is your debut episode on the Horizon here in the Liberia Radio and Television Network. Let me first say welcome and then a big congratulations on your elections as the councilman for Upper Darby 6th District. Welcome to the Horizon and the Liberia Radio and Television Network.
Thank you very much, and thanks for having me.
Thank you, and let's just get right into it. This is going to be a very brief interview. And so let's just start with talking to our audience about who you are, and then I will go around and take questions from our panelists, and then you get questions from me as well. But let me give you the opportunity now to introduce yourself to the Horizon and to our audience.
Okay, thank you. My name is David Bantu, a resident of Upper Darby, and I've been in Upper Darby for the past 20 years. A community guy who is involved deeply with the community. I'm a family man. I have 4 beautiful children, 2 girls, 2 boys, and all my kids are all up there. And I started all over. I have an age 8 years old, which is keeping me going. Basically, I work in the juvenile justice system as a support coordinator, and also work for Upper Darby Police Department as a liaison at the police department. And basically, I'm a businessman and now a politician. We just won a major election here in Delaware County. For the most part, I'm a community guy. I'm a Liberian. Came to this country as a refugee from Ghana, and I'm here.
Thank you very much. You have such an interesting background, because I did read your background on your website. But let me start with you, Mr. John Winkin Weir. What is your question for Councilman-elect David G. Bantu?
Well, Mr. Bantu, I will say again, congratulations, and we are all proud to see Liberians getting involved into politics and other engagement in the United States. I did not read much about you, but what I can ask of you is that basically, what would be your major role as a councilman?
So basically, council in the United States is the first line of lawmaking, as if you are aware or not. But every law in this country starts from the local level. So we are the guys that are going to be crafting those laws before it gets to the state level and then to the federal level. So I'm a lawmaker.
Thank you. Let's hear from you, Bishop Cephas Reeves.
Well, congratulations, Mr. Bantu, on
David want to ask question.
I heard it. I will get back to you. Go ahead, Mr.
Congratulations, Mr. Bantu, on your win, and we're all proud of you. We're excited to have you. My question is, what will be your first order of business as a councilman when you step into your office? What's the first thing we should expect that will be very effective, that will reassure us that we made the right decisions?
So basically, I ran on 5 pillars, and the first one is to represent stronger leadership. I'm going to list them, and then I will give you what will be my start. The point that I'm going to start from. I ran on 5 pillars, and I ran on representing stronger leadership in this district that will represent all. And the second one is rebuilding community trust. Then the third one is increasing public safety. Fourth would be reducing litter and trash in our community. Most of these city cleaners, you know the value of the effect of cleanliness. Then the fourth one is on supporting the economic development within this district. Now, as far as my priority, I tell you this: I'm taking over a district that is of high risk. Those of you who are familiar with Upper Darby, most of the shooting and killing, drugs that we are dealing with in Upper Darby are within the 6th district. And the reason why, this is the border between Philadelphia, and I'm not saying the crimes are coming from Philadelphia, but this is, how things are running here. If you listen to the news recently, the Muslim guy that got killed, he was killed right in the mosque there, coming for prayer, pulled up right there to go for prayer, and he got shot. So basically, public safety is something that I want to put my first law on the book.
Thank you very much, Councilman Banto. Mrs. Collins, you want to go ahead with your question, and then we'll come to you, David, next.
Thank you. Good evening, gentlemen. Good evening, Mr. Banto. Thank you.
Thank you.
And congratulations for, your victory.
Thank you.
My first question would be, Councilman has left. What actually would be, what are you going to do to different than what other councilmen have done to improve your district? What are you going to do different?
Thank you very much, my dear sister. So, for those of you that have been following me, when I announced my candidacy in December of last year, I laid out a plan, and this plan actually is the plan that took off to this victory. So, when it comes to what's going to set me apart from the previous council that been in the seat, I tell you this: I'm going to be leading a district with 18,000 residents. And outside of that, I started my campaign as a grassroots campaign, door to door. I knocked those 18,000 doors over like double in the primary, and then move into the general election. I have 4 contenders for the same seat before knocking you guys out. So coming in here, the council job here in Upper Darby, I tell you, it's a part-time position. So to set me different, I'm treating this position as a full-time position. As we speak, I'm going to be the first councilman to have an office in my district so that the 18,000 residents can have direct access to me. Those are some of the things I'm going to do to set me different. And as I put it with the 5 pillars that I'm running on, it is not something, these are not just writing and listing stuff on paper. But out of the 5 pillars, I'm going to make sure that I've routed the resources that I need to support each of those pillars. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you very much, Mr. Councilman Banto. Let's hear from you now, David Takwe.
Okay, ladies and gentlemen, good morning once again, because it's in the morning in Liberia. Mr. Banto, David Banto, congratulations, sir.
Thank you.
Is he hearing me, Derek?
Yes, he said thank you.
Okay, okay. So, once a Liberian, you are a Liberian, even though you've taken the citizenship of the United States. And so, because I'm in Liberia, my question is a Liberian question. What impact would your presence in the U.S. Parliament make on Liberia? That is, how does your presence in the United States Parliament trickle down to your fellow Liberians back home? Because I believe on hearing that one David Bantu, a Liberian, has won a representative to represent a district in the United States. I guess they're proud, they're happy that you've made such an achievement. So how does your presence in the United States Parliament, in the U.S. Parliament, trickle down to your fellow citizens, Liberian back home? That's my question.
Thank you very much. And I mean, I don't want to be so political here, but honestly speaking, as far as dealing with Liberia directly, this is U.S. politics that I'm involved with. So when it comes to Liberia, anything that has to do with U.S. foreign policy, we can be part of that to see how we can speak on Liberia. I give you one example. Recently, when it was a program that I attended in Delaware, the state of Delaware, and at that program, they were rewarding a grant to few organizations, and there we went and I met Senator Kuhn. So we were in a conversation, and from one thing to another, East Africa need came out, Liberia need came out. So he asked me a specific question. And just for the listening public, the fact that I'm a Liberian American standing in this space is a blessing for us. Because the question is, God asked me, his foundation is running program in East Africa on wildlife trafficking. So the question he asked me was, Dave, you are from Liberia? I said, yes. And the follow-up question was, so what are your plans to connect with us? What can we do? I'm doing something in East Africa. So I think you are big on environment, and in my country, there are a lot of environmental issues down there. Talk about forest, people are doing logging and all of this stuff over there and damaging the forest, and they are not controlled. So I have to put a question back to you, what can you do? And then we were able to, talk about things. But as far as me being a lawmaker in the United States there and fighting for things in Liberia, there are Liberians in this country that I'm representing. So one way or the other, I'm making impact in my Liberian society. So, but as far as our politics is, concerned, I have to put that one on the U.S. foreign policy.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much, Mr. Pan. I'm sorry. David, do you have a follow-up question?
No, I'm okay, Derek. Thank you very much, Derek.
Thank you. Let's hear from you, Choppy Charlie. Lord Choppy Charlie.
Yeah, okay. Thank you very much, David. And let me say congratulations, Key. Just a disclaimer, I know David for a while. And like you said, he's a community guy. He's been working very hard in the community. That's why when he talks about the public safety, in fact, I was going to ask him about that question because I know he has been working towards this juvenile drugs and other things. So I don't really have a question, but I just want to encourage David to keep working hard as he's done and it's paid off today. He's a lawmaker in the district, and so that he can keep doing those good things that he has been doing for not just his district, Americans, but also representing Liberia.
And can I come in for a minute?
Yes, please.
So to just add a little piece to Bro Dave a question. Dave, I want to let you know that I also run a nonprofit group that work both here in America and also in rural Liberia. You can Google it. You can go online and check it out. It's called Rural Liberia Community Empowerment Program. So what this program is going to do now, we are trying to set up a base over there that will be working with people in policy making, and those resources that are needed in those areas, we can pump them down there, and also work, to influence our foreign public policy over there through the organization.
Thank you very much.
That's very good. That's very good.
Thank you very much, Councilman Banto. Let's hear now from you, Mr. Boulder.
Thank you. Banto, I want to say congratulations again for your election as a councilman.
Thank you.
I want to live in that district where you became a councilman. And during the time around that era in 2001, between 2001 and 2004,
but that we were great.
I know we interacted somehow, somewhere in the other. So, okay. But it's been a while. Okay. But my question is, I know there are a lot of challenges within the borough of Upper Darby in that section, especially when it comes to immigrants that are within that area. What is it that you, as a councilman, especially knowing our people, the challenges, our young generation, or the men that are involved in drugs and host of things, especially those that come from the refugee camp, with the challenges that they didn't finish high school, to they have a lot of challenges over there. What is it that your leadership as a councilman want to do to able these people get some help in the system? Because I know many of them are lingering in jail because they didn't understand the system and they didn't take their time and they were not exposed to the society for themselves. And that is the host of situation that we found within the Philadelphia, the Upper Darby, within the United States and Pennsylvania as a whole. So what is it in particular, being a councilman, understanding the nature of our society, the people around there, what is it that you as a councilman have on your 5 people that want to address some of their challenges?
So basically, I don't have a specific item listed here on my 5 pillars, but I can tell you this though. When it comes to public safety, we are not just looking at putting police officers in the street to patrol and arresting people, and patting people down, but also on the public safety plan, we are going to bring professionals in the district who are going to and partner with stakeholders. So what's going to happen is we will make available training, skill development, different type of programs. Because as I said, when I won the primary, I met with the Democratic Committee because I was getting on the team, and I clearly spell out what I'm coming in to do. Coming into this, I'm coming for 2 major things: programs and policy. So I already started making this network, building relationships, and bringing people that will create those kind of activity. Now, I'll give you one example. After COVID, and even working at a juvenile or justice center, I deal with, as we speak right now, we have Liberian kids down there. The younger kids over there that we have is 13 years old. Okay? So what we did, we created a program called Second Chance Program. So what is Second Chance focus on is we make sure, because when the kids are coming out of the system, the judge might let them go, but the criminal record to get it out is still a problem. So through our nonprofit organization at the time, we partner with companies who are a little bit moderate in terms of background, checks and stuff, and we put the kids to work. We transport them, we monitor them while they are on the job, and make sure they earn money. That's how we're able to pull over 300 kids out of street corner. So I have a plan for the youth. As we speak, I'm already doing my district tour, taking names, phone number, email, so that I can populate those names and information and have direct communication with the kids. So we have a package, for the young people. But I just have to make sure I tap into the actual resources that will support programs like this. And this is why I'm going to be out to write grant, appeal, to businesses and support this program. And with the help of the mayor.
Thank you very much, Councilman Bantu.
Yes.
I have a question. Question for you. First, Noah, let's talk to us about the race. I know you fairly emerged as winner, but talk to us about your opponent and what would you say differentiate you from your opponent that made the people of the 6th district of Upper Darby to put their trust in you that that led to you emerging as winner. And also you elaborated on your plan. You talk about the 5 pillars you had, or 5 or 4 pillars you said you have, and you also talk about you ran your priority is basically on program and policy. Now, try to talk to us about like what can convince the constituents that Councilman Bantu can actually get these things done. And lastly, have you served in similar position that your constituent can reference and say, oh, he has gotten such and such done in the past, and he definitely will get these things done?
Thank you very much. I know the question. I mean, you line a couple of questions up, but I'm going to address the question generally. Now, I tell you this: I was in a race that is highly contested. I can tell you this. I went in a race with people with money. I mean, business people. Comrade Chappie over there, he's Upper Darby, you know who owns the money. And I don't want to be specific here to mention race name, but I went into a race here with people with money. But one thing I can stay clear here today is when it comes to politics, it's all about the vote, the people, what the people want. It's not about the money. I ran this campaign from primary into general election with only $5,000. I can tell you that. But if you go on the website right now, the margin that I won with, you cannot believe it. So to answer your question, I'm coming into this space not just an ordinary politician or the traditional politician. I'm coming in here with a background. All of these things that are listed, I started doing these things already before even coming into this. I'm deeply community oriented. So to distinguish me from my opponent, it's just a clear call right there that no one can even argue. Because as we speak, when it comes to public safety, I already built relationship with the police chief here by working as a liaison, connecting the community and the police department on programs. 2, who are those children? I mean, when you talk about gun violence in America, who are the people that are handling the gun? Are the young people, 17, 14, 16, 17. I deal with these children on a daily basis for life. I talk to them, go into their head, what is causing them to do what they are doing out here. So I'm coming in with experience. So it's not just coming and I want to be a politician, I want money. No, this is not about money for me. I'm in it to serve, and I'm coming in with background. When it comes to even the other thing in the community, I'm deeply involved. I work in this community as a judge of election for 4 consecutive years. I conducted election fairly when Donald Trump came up with all that shenanigans. Now one day, for my precinct to be ordered by the court to testify on any recount, I did all of these things. So I'm deeply rooted. No argument about it. And this is why I was debated last time. No one could debate me.
Thank you very much, Councilman-elect David G. Bantu. Before I ask you the final question, let me first recognize the presence of Councilor Freeman. Councilor Freeman, welcome to episode 11, season 4 of the Hard Zone.
Thank you for having me.
Thank you very much. And before we ask for your final words, is there any question from any one of our panelists? Any additional question? If not, I will like to come to you, Mr. Bantu. One final question, and I'll give you the opportunity to close to give us your closing remark. Now, I know you're following the elections in Liberia. So my question is, what is one piece of advice you have for the winner of that person that will emerge as the winner of the Liberian elections? And then after that, you can give us your closing.
It is just simple. What I can say here to what is going on in Liberia right now is the people voice whatever it is now. So when the people speak, I don't see any reason for anyone to argue it, unless there's some they have issue with voter situation. But once the people speak, that just it. Respect that.
Thank you very much, Mr. Bantu. Again, let me give you the opportunity now to give us your closing remark. And before I do that, let me say once again, big congratulations from me, from the Horizon team and the network. And also, thank you so much for appearing on the Horizon tonight. But let me first give you the opportunity to give us your closing remark.
All right. Before that, I just want to say thank you to RTN, especially the CEO. You guys, one thing I can leave with you here tonight is keep doing what you are doing. I know we want to focus on Liberia, but one thing I can tell you, with some of us now, the space that I find myself in, I will not relent for us to fight any network that I can build, any relationship that I can build, for us to have our own network on the American television network in this country. It is important. The Spanish people have it, the Chinese people have it. We have to do that. So LRTN, keep up your good work. You will not believe it. One day we are living here. It's not only Liberia. Any good thing that Liberians are involved with here, you need to bring it up. Even bad stuff that affecting it, bring it up. This is the community you are based. So I just want to say thank you. And also thank you to the listener. Thanks for coming on. If you are listening to me, I want to say thank you. This is a great evening. Thank you, the panelists. And not forgetting again all of my voters in my 6th district. I believe a lot of them watching. So I want to say also thank you for coming out on the primary to the general election. Because without you, I'm not too sure that I'm even going to be here today. So it is because of you. Because when I launched this campaign, people underestimated me, doubted me. Oh, this guy, how is he going to lead off? Blah, blah, blah. But guess what? Once you are on point, on issues that are very fundamental, people will listen to you. And I'm a community guy. So basically, all of what I did in this community, everything just paid off. And I'm going to do more. Now, my last word here is Liberian. Right now, this is U.S. politics. But I want you to understand that we live in this country. Because I continue to hear from our people, oh, that's the people thing. That's the people thing. But guess what? If you're going to live in a community for more than 5, 6, 7, 8 years, then it becomes your thing. Anything happen in our community, any fallout, you will be affected. So let us get involved. Either be involved with the community, volunteer, do something while you are here. I know we all want to go back home to run over there, but one thing that kind of forces me, you don't even know the people's situation over there, what they go through. You don't live with them. So leaving from here, winning election, if you can't even fix something where you've been 20, 25 years, what can you fix somewhere? So Liberian, let us get involved because number one thing, those issues that we are pushing, gun violence, we have lost people to gun violence in this country. No doubt about it. How many funerals I went to with the young people from our community? You would not believe it. These are some of the things that prompted me to be in the space today, so that we can sit across the table from those guys that are making those legislation, so we can all see how they're putting these laws together. But again, I'm not going to take away your show. You have more to come in. I just want to say thank you to all of the panelists. This is a great show. Keep up the show, and feel free if you want to come in Upper Darby to interview. Follow us. We are here also to help you. Reach out to me if you have to reach out to me. Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you very much. And good evening.
Thank you very much. That was the voice of Councilman-elect Upper Darby 6th District, Councilman David G. Bantu. If you're here watching us, guys, we will take a very brief break. When we come back, we will get right into our conversation tonight surrounding the runoff elections. As it is right now, 86.71% of the results has been announced, and the standard bearer for Unity Party is in the lead with 50.58% of the votes. And of course, President George Weah is still him with 49.42%. When we come back, we will get right into that conversation, but let's take a very brief break for now.
Hey there. Many Liberians are members of social clubs, 501c NGOs, and school alumni. Many Liberians are trying to open their own 501c NGOs, home care agencies, and social clubs. Does your organization have a professional website? Does your web platform have the right wording and content to attract grants? Hopefully you're not running your organization only through social media. There's a more professional route. You need an online space where you can craft a positive message about your organization, making your home health agency more credible, which will increase your chances to receive grants. We'll build you a responsive platform for 501c organizations, healthcare agencies, and other types of organizations. We'll provide you with full website maintenance, membership sign-in, private charts, Facebook and WhatsApp integration, live video feed for all your meetings and special occasions, a dashboard for members to see all the activities, and email and text auto reminders for meetings. We'll build with donors and 501cs in mind, and will help you solicit grants and automatic membership due collections. Building you this amazing platform will only be a membership fee of $19 a month. Call or email us now. Let's upgrade your website. Home health agencies and small businesses, you owe it to your company to project the best image possible, and we can make it happen. Visit www.tiamit.com or call 215-966-8679. Ask for Tommy.
Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, wherever you're watching us from. Hope you're having a pleasant good evening. Again, thank you for joining us here on the Liberia Radio and Television Network. And we're here with episode 11 of season 4 of The Horizon. And if you're watching us, please do us a favor and follow this program or follow this network on Facebook and also on YouTube. And make sure to share this program on your Facebook page so that your friends and family will be able to benefit from this program tonight. And as was promised, the runoff elections, the votes are being, their results are being announced by the Elections Commission. And as it stands, the standard bearer for Unity Party, Ambassador Joseph Yemambwaka, is in the lead with 50.58%. And the standard bearer from the CDC is just behind him with 49.42%. The margin is just under 2%. And we've had a lot of feedback on these runoff elections. So our first conversation tonight will be strictly based on that. And then after, we will talk about some of the projections that have been made and some of the pre-celebrations that is being planned by the Unity Party and some supporters of the CDC made several Facebook posts urging their partisans of the CDC to gather tomorrow for a pre-victory celebration. But before we get to the panelists, let me have my co-host, Mr. David Tarquez, to just briefly touch on this. I know you talked about that in the current event, but just set us off
It's
with.
not on the line right now.
He's not on the line right now. Okay, let's just get right into it. Now, let me start with you, Bishop Reeves. You've been following the elections in Liberia, the runoff elections. Talk to us about the numbers coming out of the elections commissions right now, and also talk to us about everything surrounding the runoff. Let me give you the opportunity to start off with that.
Why would you want to start with me?
You got lucky tonight.
Oh no. Well, I mean, we bless God for the fact that people went out to vote, and there are a lot of different things coming up from both camps. We just want to say we want our Liberian people to remain peaceful, to remain patient until the result is announced, so that we can move the country forward. There's been a lot of tension.
Yeah, David.
There's been a lot of tension, and so we will continue to say we want Liberians to remain peaceful. We want them to be steady. And last but not least, before I move forward, I really want to appeal to us, because after this election, after today or tomorrow, one person has emerged to be the leader. Reconciling the country is going to be a very difficult thing to do because of how deep we've gone with each other. So I just want us to pay attention to that as well. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Bishop Reeves. Blow your trumpet, let me hear from you, and you can also touch on the turnout as well. So blow your trumpet, Charlie.
All right, so I'm audible.
Yes, you are.
Yeah, so let me again correct the records. The CDC has not planned a pre-victory march in the streets of Monrovia. There is no statement anywhere in the CDC that says there will be a pre-victory march. What the CDC has done, and is always done, is that even before these elections, the CDC headquarters have always had regular programs at the headquarters. So tomorrow it should not be surprising when CDC gather at their headquarters, peaceful assembly, to continue doing the same things they have always been doing before these elections and even now after these elections. So there's no pre-march on the streets of Monrovia. Just so clear about that. Now, concerning the elections itself, generally we want to celebrate ordinary Liberians. Ordinary people went to the pool and voted peacefully. I had a chance of traveling on election day itself in 3 different counties: Margibi, Bong, and Nima County. And from the morning time to the evening hours, and we saw snappers of voting in different places in these 3 counties. I had a chance to see that. And the ordinary people themselves was very peaceful. It was very calm. And even after the vote in the evening time, particularly in Nima County where I was, most parts of Nima County, you saw ordinary people gather at various entertainment spots, whether CDC or Unity Party, interacting and discussing and having fun, except for the top leadership of the Unity Party, which we have seen repeatedly organizing violent activity as we was physically involved in that situation in Sacred Pied, when a defeated lawmaker of the Unity Party marched on the city hall, violently breaking down chairs with talks and attacking the city mayor and attacking other people around. And even after that, I went to the city mayor house, the similar talks. But it was good that people cautioned sedition to not respond And at the end of the day, other people had us call the local radio station, and the situation went down. After several hours, the police intervened. So, generally, elections were peaceful, and the results are being laid out. Hopefully, we believe that based on our numbers, the CDC itself, we have had 95% of our data tally. And our 95% tally data that we have in our possession is indicating to us that victory is on our side.
Thank you very much. You said 95% of the tally sheets you have is indicating that victory is yours. So I will just leave it at that, and let me come to you, Councilor Freeman. Give us your take on these runoff elections.
I mean, like the previous gentleman stated that the election was generally free and fair. I mean, well, peaceful. Let me not say free and fair, but peaceful. Liberians came out. Initially, I think from all indication, it seemed as if it was slow, but they picked up at some point, and the people were able to exercise the constitutional duty to participate in the electoral process. That's a good thing for the Liberian people. My hope is from now until tomorrow or the next 2 days from now that, you know, the party's leadership remain calm. I've seen that people have been tallying votes within theirs. My hope is that they remain calm and they wait for the National Elections Commission to actually call the results before any form of victory or pre-victory, whatever they want to call that. The National Election Commission, as you already know, is the only entity in the country constitutionally mandated to announce election results. And that's important. It is important because of the demographics, the Liberian demographics. There are a lot of people in there in Liberia that would take onto the street if the wrong message is sent across. We've seen it before, and it could happen again. So that's why it's important for those in leadership to exercise restraint and, you know, and wait on the National Election Commission to actually announce the winner. And when a winner is announced, ultimately, my hope will be that, you know, every Liberian will accept the results and move on to build the country.
Thank you very much, Mrs. Collins. Let's hear from you.
Yes. Here the election, we just want to tell God thank you for the calmness and the peacefulness right now. When they started first, there were a little noise here and there. People was having issues. Some people said their name was not to the precinct that they registered to, and you know, but that was all on Facebook and all of that. But at the end of the day, overall, the people voted. I just hope that we can be calm and exercise restraint so that when the election commission come up with their result, and everybody should be calm until election commission come up with a result. And I just hope that election commission can be able to come up with the right result and the right number. And we encourage both parties, you know, to control their people, talk to their people to be calm until the election commission come up with a result, because only election commission is close with the authority to announce final results. All other results that have been coming is you know, their own results, and they are preempting it, but election commission would have the one that will say the final result. And I hope election commission will be fair enough to do the right thing and come up with the right numbers.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much, Mrs. Collins. Let's hear now from you, Mr. Jai Winkin. Do you have David on the phone? He's not there yet. You're on mute. We have to get a.
Are you hearing me now?
Yes.
Okay, David is not on.
Okay, go ahead.
Okay, so the first thing I'd like to repeat again, that I would like to say thank to all Liberians for participating peacefully, despite all the projection and prediction about violence here, and despite all the threats of war, threat of violence, overall, even here in the Western world, elections experience violence. But I want to say thank you to the Liberians, but to the supporters of both parties. In this context of the election, this is what we call close call from what has been reported so far. It is within the margin. No, even 50.1 plus one, nobody has that yet. It can be anybody if that goes like that. In the American Senate, that's what they call too close to call. So I will urge all supporters of both parties to be calm and wait until the final result are really declared. At the same time, we should nurture the peace so far. We have waited for the second round. We have waited for 2023 to vote. We voted. Everything. All that is remaining now is the announcement of the final results. So if we wait that long period, I think we can afford to wait. You got 6 years to celebrate victory. So for those who are planning celebration, they can wait. We need peace. We need to maintain the peace in Liberia. Also, whoever wins, Liberia is for all Liberians. Only one person at a time in a particular position. We should all know that. Being in position doesn't mean you are better than the other Liberians. We are all the same. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Let's hear from you now, Mr. Martin Bodat.
Yeah, thank you, Derek, for having me. I just want to thank the Liberian people for the way they have exercised their constitutional right through the democratic process. It's healthy. This thing happening in politics. It's a contested elections that is very highly contested with emotions and so many other things surrounding the elections. So what we're seeing is not anything that should be, for me, it's not things that I'm bothered with. I think this is just the process of democracy. And Liberians are doing very well. I must commend them for the way they are engaged in the electoral process. Because we haven't seen this in our history where people are engaged in the way the Liberian people are engaged in the democracy, especially at this period of time. And I think that should give our leaders pause to be able to think that the people they knew back or they had to think about Liberian people at the time, that period is going away gradually. So they got Liberian people now knowing the importance of what it means to elect a leader and what they expect of that leader. So it's healthy for us, and I'm of the conviction that there's not going to be anything after here when the election result is announced. I think the Liberian people understand, they know what the pain is to go through violent war and so forth. We experienced it for 15 years, and that scarf stays there. So we will talk, we will argue here and there will be some war train at each other. But Liberian people are kind of people who could forgive and forget each other and move on. So I know that for the fact that Election Commission is the body that's supposed to announce the result to give final result on those numbers that have been sent to them by electoral prison, which is represented by both political parties and observers. So the Election Commission is not going to manufacture any other new numbers through the process other than what has been given them from the various polling stations. So this should be an easy and fair thing to do because you already have both parties represented at every precinct, and those numbers have been calculated, and everybody has some form of information from that precinct to say, hey, this is what I got and this is what. If it's any dispute, we will see that. So I'm not worried about the election commission. They have to do the right thing, which they are full responsibility and constitutional right to do. So with the aspect of people jubilating or announcement coming up, we see in America here when there's election here, we watch the news come up with projections, and it comes to be true. So we in a social where the technology have making the world smaller for everybody. This is no more darkness where people in the dark place counting ballots. So it's simultaneously as people counting ballots, people taking picture of the tally sheet, sending it to people. So
Thank
that's
you.
why we got information. So the information are there. I'm not worried. I know whoever wins, we know who want to win, and people can be happy and celebrate. So I don't think anybody should hold back for being happy or doing what, but with cautious, like everybody said.
Mr. Boda, I'm sure that you will agree with Mr. Jai Winkin Wia when he said this is a close call. We have the margin between the two candidates is just a little over 1%. Now, and I'm saying this to say that with that reality, the Unity Party just a day ago posted on their official Facebook page urging their supporters to gather for a victory celebration. What do you make of that? What would you say to that?
Well, like I said to you, if everybody has information, data to support their claim.
Don't you think it would be wise to have their supporters to wait if what you're saying is indeed true? If you have all of the data to prove the Unity Party won the elections based on the tally sheets you have Unity Party have in her possession, don't you think it is wise and it's also in the best interest of the country as far as peace is concerned for you to urge your supporters to wait until the Elections Commission announce the full result before you can have a victory parade? Don't you think that?
It's a good thing to wait until the election commission have the victory. You cannot have a victory rally without the results. But what I'm saying is everybody has data in that process, in that information in their hands that they know what it's talking about. But you're not going to hold people. You cannot stop people from having gathering around that will be cheering party. You can't stop that. There's nobody can stop it.
Thank you. Let's
spontaneous thing going around the country. Because, like I said to you, people have data in their hand that support their claim.
Thank you very much. Let me come back. Let me come back to you, Mr. Jai Winkin. I want to build on this. The Unity Party calling for an early celebration, though. Like you said, the margin is too close to call. What do you make of that? Is that something you're in support of?
Well, here is the difference. In the United States, you have different media institutions that are independent, like CNN, all the other people, they do the projection, and people are trained. So all the cable news people, they have people who are trained to do this projection. And but these projections in question are not made by Democratic Party or Republican Party. The both parties sit back and watch the network to do the projection. But in this case, it is different. It is either CDC or UPP projecting. So that's the difference. So those who are listening to CDC or who are supporting of CDC, they will say whatever comes out is okay. The thing is true on the other. So there will be what I said. There is no need to rush with if you have your tally sheet, that's fine. But the difference is the reason why we need to be careful is those who are making a pronouncement are not independent institutions. In the West, in the Western world, the media institutions that are independent, they are not part of the parties that are involved in the elections, so they can project based on what they bring about. But right now, I bet you, in our context, if we were to come up or Bola were to come out that we are cheated, people will get in the street. That is why it's very critical for people. The only people Liberians rely on now is the election commission that has the authority. Nobody is saying you should not believe what you have, but what we are saying, our utterances, why we say should be careful because we got die-hard supporters. That's why I want for all to be careful. But nobody saying this will not deny anybody from winning. Whoever wins will win. Will be declared winner. We voted for long. That's why I said we voted for long. First round, second round. Now, no more casting of ballots. What we're waiting for now is the counting process, which is ongoing. So, under the law, the Election Commission has 15 days to do so. So we should just be patient. That's what we are saying.
Derek,
so just to be
Derek, let me make a point.
Just to be clear, before you make that point, just to be clear, you're not in support of Unity Party calling for early celebration.
None of them.
Thank you. Thank you. Let me give you 15 seconds, Mr. Boda. Make your point.
So here's the thing. I hear Brother Jawigan talking about independent institutions like the media. I do agree with that part, but look at our own situation in America, right? You do have the Fox News that is poor Republican. You have MSNBC, which is pro-Democrat. CNN in the middle. So we got people, there's not any radio station in Labrador making any pronouncement. There are social media arbiters talking. So, and these people link to a very political institution in the country. So it's not it's one party is talking. You got CDC supporter on the other on social media giving their facts concerning the elections. So it shouldn't be anything that is strange or alarming. Because the Election Commission had not kind of not giving themselves the credibility that the people had seen in them, the way they conducting that result. In the past, the first elections, giving the people the ego to see, look, we want to hear something. Because if they conduct themselves as a credible and independent institution, we wouldn't have some of this thing that we're having.
Thank you.
Mr. Boda, if you were agree, what you are saying, in spite of what you are saying, at the end of the day, all the networks in the United States, one may be the first to call, but they will all fall in line calling the same result. They will not call different result. But in our situation now, if you listen to people that support CDC, they were now different results. If all the two parties, if they were announcing the same results, then it's a different thing, which is being done here in the United States. You will agree on that. Despite the support, CNN, Fox, NBC, and all the other people, ABC, at the end of the day, they can all project the same results.
Thank you very much. Bloody Choppy Charlie, weigh in on this. As you heard from Mr. Boda, he said there's nothing to be worried about. This is an alarming. It happens in the United States here. So just weigh in on this or call for early and victory parade. Bloody Choppy Charlie.
Again, like I've said, the CDC have not called for a victory parade. But the reality is that what we've seen from the other side is always a behavior of hypocrisy in terms of their own advocacy for good governance in the country. These are the same people who now today have said in the past that nobody should call these results except for Elections Commission. One day they believe Elections Commission is doing the right thing. The next day they believe that Elections Commission is cheating, and they fluctuate based on the time of the day. And the reality here is that not that the CDC cannot mount the podium and do the same kind of projection like I said earlier. As of this afternoon, right now, the time is about 2:46 a.m. in Liberia. But earlier today, even before the NEC yesterday announced those results, the CDC has already tabulated about 95% of their own internal data they have based on the tally sheet that was available. And we have done an analysis of even the UP data sheets that they published. A lot of discrepancies were in their data sheet. For example, they said at 85% they will be leading 40,000 votes. And now we are at 86% and they are not leading 30 or 40,000 votes. They are leading about 16,000 votes, which is exactly the same amount of vote that they have leading in Mosquera County. So if you look at the analysis of how this vote is playing or the trends and pattern of these votes, you will see that it is similarly let the first round play out. At some point, the Unity Party was leading in most of the announcement. Towards the end, the final result showed them losing that first round victory. And so we are not as disturbed by the NEC results, because our internal data from the tally sheet that we have collected is showing the upper directions to the CDC. But we are being cautious, like everybody else is saying. We will have our people shouting and jumping up and down because we are confident of our internal tally sheet result. That's why we are not shouting. We are confident at the end of the day, the result will reflect what happened in the ballot box.
I want you to respond to this early call for victory parade. Do you agree with Mr. Boda that this isn't alarming and it's okay to have those things happening?
So the reality here is that early parade is a kind of deception, especially when you don't have the facts. And like people are saying, it creates a conflict in the society because now people have a mindset that they may have won these elections. And so when the result does not favor them, then they feel that they have been cheated, and it creates anger, and people result of violent or uncivilized behavior. So that's why we have been very cautious. I mean, of course, we're sharing our data internally to our folks to encourage them, but the action of the Unity Party, where their now campaign head was intentionally spewing disinformation and misinformation to the public, is dangerous. And the disconcerting part about that information is these were the very people that were shouting just before the ballots took place, the voting took place, that the CDC was stuffing the ballot box with pre-marked ballots. This information they filled the public with. Now, these people who said the CDC was stuffing ballot boxes and created agitation and anxiety, they are now celebrating the very result. So one has to ask themselves the question, did the CDC pre-mark ballots to favor Unity Party lead in these elections? Did the CDC have the ability to pre-mark, why would not just pre-mark and win?
Before you get into that point, let me ask you this question based on what you just said. You mentioned that calling for victory parade with the results in a close call range is a deception, is a recipe for chaos. Well, the presidential aide, Sekou Kalasko, just 18 hours ago made a Facebook post where he calling on fellow Tunisians to get ready for the biggest victory parade. Would you say that's a recipe for chaos as well?
No, that's a complete different situation. In fact, Sekou Kalasko called for a pre-victory celebration.
How is it different?
Yes, a different. It's not marching. I can celebrate in my house. I can celebrate anywhere. But the reality is, let me hold you. Kalasko is not an official. He's not an official. The difference here is if you have an official, if you have the official spokesman speaking, that's a different thing.
I will give you the opportunity, Blowjay, but let me make a correction. Yeah. And the exact words he used on his Facebook page is a victory parade. So he's not calling for a victory. And
yeah.
I understand your point. And
Kalasko is not official of the party. He's not official. He's not official.
I will give you that. Blowjay, I will give you time to respond to the question, but let me level my question. I understand he's not the official spokesperson of CDC. I'm just asking you the question based on what you said, that calling for this parade is a recipe for chaos. It's a deception. I'm asking, are you also saying that presidential aide Sekou Kalasko is doing exactly what you're talking about?
I was specific to the leadership of the Unity Party. I was specific to the leadership. I said that the leadership of the Unity Party, the campaign spokesperson, the campaign head, calling for that, spew this information out, spewing this information with the numbers. That's why it becomes dangerous, because as a leader, if you do that, you are giving people the impression, and that is wrong. Ordinary people, a policy, a member of society, somebody coming out and shouting, it still does not have that weight. It doesn't hold that credibility. But when an official spokesperson of an institution, organization spews such disinformation and misinformation, it has a potential to cause chaos in society. That's the difference I'm speaking about.
So you're saying Sekou Kalasko
is not official. It's not official. He's not a spokesperson.
So you're basically saying your word don't carry that much weight.
It doesn't.
Even though he occupied a key position in
It
government.
doesn't. It doesn't.
Let's recognize the presence of Bishop Haggard, and then we'll come to you, Councilor Freeman. Bishop Haggard, welcome to episode 11 of season 4 of the Horizon.
Thank you very much. Thank you.
Thank you, bro. Thank you for joining us, Bishop Haggard. Let's hear from you now, Councilor Freeman, on this early victory parade being called on by the Unity Party and then Presidential aide Sekou Kalasko Damaro.
I think we've already said it, that any pre-announcement or pre-victory parade, look, the very word parade entails that people will be taking onto the streets. That's just what it is, parade. They'll get on the street to celebrate. And because of the fragility of Liberia, I don't think that's a good idea. Now, the law doesn't necessarily preclude them from doing that. They have a freedom to assemble, right? That's a constitutional guarantee right to assemble. Presumably they can come on the street and do what they want to do, but given the fragile system, given the fact that too many of our youth are prone to violence in that country, that is why it is important for the leadership in both parties to be mindful, because when you start announcing victory or early celebration and at the end of it doesn't go the way you presume it to go, it has the propensity to create chaos. It has the propensity to send the wrong message to your followers. Because already people think, well, if I don't win the election, we must have been cheated. Now, if you start celebrating early and National Election Commission result is different from what you were told, that could create a potential problem in the country. That's my concern. But from a legal standpoint, people have the right to assemble. That's within their right to do so. Whether they want to call it parade or whatever. But I think my understanding is Musa Dean, the Justice Minister, has already sent out a cautionary message saying that no one has the authorization to come out tomorrow and engage in any form of parade. Now, keep in mind that for any parade or protest, they need to get some form of approval from the Ministry of Justice. So Musa Dean is clearly saying you don't have that approval as of yet. Do not get to the street. And I think they should listen to the Minister of Justice. The leadership of both parties should send that cautionary message to their followers not to take onto the street. They want to have the parties in their home, that's fine. But taking onto the street could very well be untimely.
Thank you. I was going to ask you the question next, but you already answered that question. Do you think those Ambassador Bouaka and President George Manneh are going to do what you just said, and just sitting reluctantly and allowing these things to happen? What does it say about them? Can you speak to that?
Look, I understand what the last speaker said about Kalasko not being in any leadership position. That may, first of all, I think he's in a leadership position. And given the youthful population of Liberia, a lot of young people that will listen to the Kalasko or to the Jefferson Koji and some of the other young folks in government, a lot of young people that will listen to them. So whether it's coming from a leadership, as one might want to look at it, the fact is it's coming from the top. If a man like Kalasko said, come and let's do a pre-parade party, and the president or someone else who is in authority does not disavow that, or does not say, well, no, we shouldn't be doing that, and let's go on the record to say we will not be doing that, then the presumption is there may be people out there in their hundreds, if not thousands, that may very well come up. So look, what I would say is we hope that from the very top, whether Mr. Weah or somebody he designate, or whether Mr. Bouaka or someone he designate, need to come on the record and make it clear that these pre-parade or whatever they want to call it is premature, and we should wait for the national election to actually pronounce a winner before people actually start taking to the street to celebrate.
Thank you very much, Councilor Freeman, and let's now hear from you, Mrs. Collins.
Pretty much everybody has said we just want to wait and let the truth come out, let the true numbers come out, like the Election Commission come out with their results. These pre-parade planning and celebration, I know everybody excited, everybody wants, to show up, but it has a propensity to create chaos and disturbance, and we don't want that. We don't want history to repeat itself. So, like I said, like everyone has just said, let us wait for the national election. Tomorrow is not far. I mean, everybody already in the next day. So so let's just wait, and be patient and wait, for it, because we don't want no chaos. We don't want no fighting. We don't want, ups and down movement. Everybody have worked hard to reach to this point. Let's wait for 10 days, didn't care, or 1 day shouldn't care us.
Thank you very much. Would you call on those political leaders in Ambassador Barkat and President George Manuel Weah to caution their supporters to at least wait until the full results are announced before they start calling these elections? I've seen supporters from both sides calling like Ambassador Barkat or retired politician calling or him president-elect. Do you think you will call on those political leaders to speak to their supporters to be patient and wait? Would you call on those political leaders?
Yes, we can call on them, but what happened? Both parties are playing a hanky-panky game. Nobody wants to come up first to stop the people before the people call them and say, "Oh, you acting like a coward. You afraid. You open wear. You afraid of Joseph Barker, or Joseph Barker, you afraid of open wear." So they're not that they're not hearing all these messages. They are hearing all these messages, but who to come up first to say, you know what, stop? So they're letting their bad guy do the dirty work, and they don't want to come up, but they should be able to come out to say, you know what, let's wait and hear what election commission have to say, come up with the final result. Yeah, they should be able to do that.
Thank you very much. Now let's hear from Bishop Hager. You look relaxed. I don't know if I should say you're licking it or you're worried that the CDC is making these results. Well, let's hear from Bishop Hager.
Thank you very much. One of the things I really want us all to understand, all of us Liberia, we're just getting used to the new democratic culture. People will take time to adjust to the reality of democratic election, the will of the people. So I'm not surprised to see some of the overboarding or reaction, because it's a new thing in our society. For me, it's not going to boil down to violence. It's not going to boil down to violence. People will be excited. People will be galvanized. People are very passionate about their political party in Liberia. Everywhere you find passion, you find people doing all kinds of things. It happens all over here. As we mature, we will get to the place where when elections are held, I believe the technology, we are going there. In the future election, everything will be digitized, that on the same day of election, after the result, we'll know exactly who have won, and the opponent will congratulate the other person. And we are surely convinced we have people within the system, and the official information is Ambassador Joseph Yuma Boaga is the next president of Liberia, and I expect President George Weah to be, gracious in his defeat and call the ambassador and congratulate him, and we move Liberia to the next level. That's how democratic culture developed. He came to power in 2017, three elections with showing other power. How it is, Liberia does not belong to George Weah, it's not his property. If the people don't want him, he go. That's simple as that. Thank you. What's the big thing about that?
Thank you very much, Bishop Hager. Now let me just ask you a question though. I know some of the panelists said that these call for victory parade while the results are still being announced is a recipe for disaster. It can cause chaos. It's being very deceptive. How would you respond to that?
It never caused any chaos. It happened 2017. People made results. They make their own result. Now, the first round, people said they were going to win the first round. It did not lead to any violence. We should understand that we are in a new democratic environment. The culture of democracy is still developing. People are passionate. The only thing I like is that when we try to trust the system, when the National Election Commission does its statutory responsibility and gave the result as it reflect the will of the Liberian people, people will start to develop confidence in the system, and those things will not happen. People are still not trusting government. I mean, when the Pew Foundation did a research, not only in Liberia but around the world, the ordinary citizens don't trust governmental institutions. So it is all over the world right now. So that's why you see people making all these agitation. But if the Election Commission gave the exact result, listen, the next day everything will be okay. I know Liberian people, we're not going to violence. We want to move forward and enjoy our country.
Thank you very much,
George. We are grateful.
Thank you, bro. Thank you very much, Bishop Hagar. Let's recognize the presence of Reverend Adi and then come straight to you to talk about the results coming out of these elections and also on the early victory parade being announced from both sides. Reverend Adi, welcome.
Well, thank you. Greetings to all of you esteemed panelists, Liberians at large, at home and abroad. It's a pleasure to be here once more. Thank you.
Thank you. Before you join the conversation, I would like to come to you now. We were talking about the results and specifically about both sides calling for early victory parade. What is your take on that? Some of our panelists here have is in support of it. Bishop Hagar said that does not have any effects on the voter. He even said that shows that our democracy is maturing. And some of our panelists disagree and said that that is actually a recipe for disaster. It can cause chaos. It can make the constituent feels like the elections wasn't fair if the result go against the party that they support. Give us your take on that, Reverend Adi.
Well, personally, I don't have a problem with both sides calling results. What I have a problem with is you calling results and not having the facts to substantiate your results. Unlike the Unity Party that has presented results, we saw a comprehensive report led by former Finance Minister, a World Bank, United Nations personality of credibility. Give us those results with facts. Unlike our brothers from the CDC, they are displaying graphs, but they have not been able to give us a comprehensive results and are henceforth depending on the net, to give those results, which of course they represent the legitimate entity to reflect those results. And that is why we are cautiously reporting the facts as the tally sheets report from all political parties should have received. So we aren't manufacturing numbers from anywhere in any way, shape, or form. So the ability to call for victory clearly is a reflection of the facts, the source document that we are reporting that is also in next possession. So, we were cautious to say we await next official report. We should not be far from the report that we in the Unity Party and sympathizers of Joseph Boyka are currently reflecting right now, unlike our brothers on the CDC.
So what about I know you already mentioned them. I just want to get a clear answer on this from CDC side. Presidential aide Sekou Kalasco put up a post urging citizens to gather for a victory parade on Friday. Do you think that has the propensity for such a chaos in the country based on the fact that you said they don't have any document to prove that? What is your take on that?
Well, that is why when Mr. Amara Conan spoke, he urged our supporters to be restrained and wait for the report of NEC, because there are those who would like to see skirmishes in the streets, and I think it is in fact dangerous for Mr. Kalasco and them to start asking the people to get in the streets for a victory parade when in fact they have not put out a sound reporting of what their numbers are. So I think it's political optics. I think it's dangerous. Considering how volatile the country is now and how opposition and government sympathizers have been fighting in the streets. But we've urged our supporters to be restrained. Let's wait for NEC. We do not expect them to report anything different from ours.
I'm trying to understand something here. So it is wrong for CDC to do it, but it's okay for Unity Party to do it because Unity Party have tally sheets that they're putting out to the public to say that their results is in line with what the NEC has. So is that what you're saying? Unity Party is okay for you to do it because you have
No.
Okay, go ahead.
No. Right. So this is what I said. Okay. Unity Party may truly, when those results were being reported by Mr. Kane, former finance minister, in fact, sympathizers anticipated that he was going to call the results. He didn't do that until he said, at least I have 70%. So we did not just, we are not ambitious. We are following and waiting for next results that we do not expect to be inconsistent with ours. So yes, we can control everybody in the party, but the party's official position has been, let's wait for NEC. NEC should not be announcing anything different from what we have. So yes, there will still be people that will be rejoicing, but you wouldn't find an official asking our people to, jump in the street and start celebrating. I mean, certainly Mr. Yeke Koluba has, been an outlier, a great partner to this cause. But, he's doing what he's supposed to do. Does that make it right? No. I don't want my partisans to be in the streets with seditions. That is a potential for violence. And I expect the leaders, especially our president, don't forget he is still our president, soon to be replaced, hopefully by tomorrow, to call on his supporters to be restrained and wait for next results. But our entity has been the only entity that has put out a comprehensive report based on tally sheets, unlike Sekou, who went and printed graphs that he ended up taking down to excite his base. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Blojo Chapi Charlie, do you have a rebuttal there or go to Bishop Reed?
Exactly. I mean, a lot of this information. Firstly, let's set the record straight. The CDC spokesman and campaign manager have both said very clearly that the CDC is awaiting the final result for NEC. They said that on day one. They have repeated that. The assertion that somebody is demanding the CDC to show tally sheet and they have tally sheet in their possession. We have not seen Unity Party tally sheets. It's another deception. Nobody have seen the tally sheet. They have created a graph and they have shown this graph to say that it's a result matching what is in the tally sheet. Have anybody seen Unity Party tally sheet? No, they have not shown tally sheet. So this is a similar thing they did in the first round where they held a plastic bag off and said the result in the plastic bag was an authentic reflection of the vote that was cast. And at the end of the day, it proved them wrong. Today, they have left the plastic bag and developed a graph and claiming that graph to be tally sheets. Imagine such an open deception. Graph you write, anybody can go and write a graph in the Excel spreadsheet and say, oh yeah, this graph is from a tally sheet. It shows. That's not evident. That's not evident. Anybody can do that. So until we see your evidence to prove it's a reflection of the vote, we are confident of what we have, and we are convinced that based on the results of the vote, the number will reflect. And the interesting thing we want to make very clear is that today, the Unity Party is celebrating. They are celebrating these results. They are not crying. Despite they say that, George, we have stopped the ballots, but a pre-marked ballot that, George, we have stopped is that pre-marked result they are getting favorable to them. Hope tomorrow, when the result turn to CDC, we'll not hear people crying, issuing statement of war, trying to do violence and all kinds of things. But it will be the same NEC that will be reporting these results. That's all we can caution them. That's all we can encourage them to accept this result as they are celebrating today. They should also similarly accept the results tomorrow.
Thank you, Blojo Chapi Charlie. Now let's hear from you, Bishop Reed. If you can adjust your camera, Bishop Reed, are you with us? I don't think he is. But yeah, let's come back to you, Mr. Weah. I don't know if you have rebuttal on what was said earlier in the conversation, but I'd like to come to Councilor Freeman after you. I have a question for Councilor Freeman.
Yes, I see there will be a back and forth as to who has the authority. Like everybody will claim, but at the end of the day, as I said, um, the election commission is our best bet. What I said earlier, this is one party showing tally sheets or projecting. It will not be good. I mean, those
Not a tally sheet. Correction. Okay, they didn't show tally sheet. They show a graph, Excel graph. That's correct.
Okay, one party showing graph. I'm just saying that whether it was a tally sheet or graph.
They show tally sheet.
Let's protect Mr.
What I'm saying is that things will be if we're going to be like everything we had in media, various media in Liberia today. If they were the one reporting this, and then there will be no argument. But there is nothing wrong with anybody claiming to believe what they do. But at the end of the day, the true fact remains: the election commission has the authority. I also believe that all the political parties are receiving the same result. If they were fair enough, well, they will release the same result. But in as much, United Party releasing one result and CDC, other people are saying, like Blodgett said, based on 95% of what they have, he believes CDC will win. Even though he's not showing any graph or anything, but he said based on. So that's what I'm saying. At the end of the day, the election commission will bring out the facts.
Thank you very much. Now let's hear from Councilor Freeman, and you can read the legal checkpoint here. I don't know, for the sake of our audience, is this like the regular process in Liberia, where instead, or in the elections process, where instead of political institution waiting for the national election to announce the result, but there's this trend going on where they have access to tally sheets and they make a projection, like you heard from Reverend Addy, they make comprehensive report and projections on what they think or what they know the results should be. Like, can you educate our audience on the process and what pressure does that put on the elections commission in an event where their results does not match up with what a political institution has already projected?
I mean, look, I'm not an expert on this, but I think historically in Liberia, that hasn't been the case, right? And because of the lack of technology. Now, technology has come so far even in Liberia, where you find that political parties, media entity, I think the Spawn TV attempted to do something similar the last time. They are basically trying to adapt some of the system we see in America. For example, during the elections around here, you see that the CNN is projecting, CNN is styling sheet, and some of the other media outlets are doing the same thing. This is the same practice you see ongoing in Liberia now. I don't inherently find anything wrong with that. And the reason is because in my mind, as long as they are not, sort of preempting the National Election Commission and announcing themselves to be the winner, they can go along and tally the votes for themselves, for their party, for the public. And in my mind, it keeps the National Election Commission in line. Because, there is a history back in our part of the world, in sub-Saharan Africa and beyond, where the incumbent president tend to rig the election. It's not uncommon. It happened in Africa a lot. So to have political parties counting along, I think it helped keep the National Election Commission, in the case of Liberia, on track. It helped keep the system transparent. But the only concern that I have is the issue of preempting the national election role, or what you might call abdicating the national election role and announcing a winner. I think that would be dangerous, because only the National Election Commission in Liberia has a constitutional duty to announce a winner. And given what Reverend Adi called Liberia is very volatile right now. It's very fragile. You don't want to do that kind of stuff because it sends the wrong message. And we need to be mindful of that kind of thing. Even though we see our democracy is sort of coming along and the people are getting mature, but the fact is there are still a lot of people out there that one has to be mindful of, especially when it comes to election results in Liberia.
Thank you very much, and I would like to hear from you, Bishop Hager, on this. And I'd like to reference what Councilor Freeman just said, and also reference the Amaral Conan presentation on Spoon Network today. I mean, with over 13,000 viewers on just Facebook and several other thousands Liberians watching around or listening in around the country, although Amaral Conan said that these results were unofficial, but they were certified results based on the tally sheets he had. But in the beginning of his presentation, he did announce Ambassador JMB Jose Imabwaka as the next president of Liberia, and there was a moment of applause by the panelists on that presentation. What do you make of that? And just in case in the event the results does not go in line with what he presented, Bishop Hickers, let me get your take on that.
Listen, everybody will have our freedom to express what we truly believe to be the fact. Amaral Conan did an excellent job, and we are still cautious that officially it is the Election Commission that has the responsibility to announce the official winner. But what we have, based on the analysis, we know it shouldn't be different for the National Election Commission. Listen, we are here tonight to talk about things. For me, this is a democratic process. We are not getting everything right. People will go in a line. It is something that happened in 2011, in 2017. All the political parties, they all, even before the election, people were bringing a huge crowd and say, we're going to win, we're going to lick it first round. But people, all those things happen. At the end of the day, it is the National Election Commission that declared who was the winner. We are confident. We are totally confident. And we're waiting for tomorrow. And all I'm waiting is for my friend and brother Blow J to come back here and congratulate us. And let's move on. We are family, we are brothers. We're not in war. The Unity Party was in power. CDC King took it. Now we take it back, and 2029 CDC can come back. Depending, we know we're going to do a great job. That's democracy.
Thank you. Before I hear from Blow J or Mr. Boda, you call Blow J, so I'll go to him. But I have a question for you, Reverend Addy. I did listen to Mr. Canon's presentation today, and one thing that I must commend him for on that presentation was the fact that he mentioned that they did or developed two systems just in case one of them has some type of error. They will rebound to the other one, but there was the system wasn't sabotaged anyway. So that makes me think that they did a lot of fact checking. They did a lot of double checking on the results. Now my question is around thousands of Liberians were listening, thousands of Unity Party supporters. Is there still a possibility that data from Amaral Conan may be prone to error? What is in the event that, let's say they made a mistake somewhere, the result is not as accurate as they think it is, and it's contrary to what NEC will announce, let's say tomorrow or sometime in the future? What does that make the supporters of Unity Party to do, since they already believe that this is over for President Weah, and Jose Imabwaka is the next president or the president-elect of the elections? What do you think will happen to your supporters? What will be their reaction to that? Reverend Addy, I don't know if you did you get my question? You want me to repeat it?
Yes, please repeat because my system just on the buffer or something.
Thank you. Can you hear me okay?
Yes. So what I understood from you is that thousands of our supporters have listened to those results today, correct?
Right.
There were all thousands of seditians who listened to those results as well.
Right.
So the hypothetical is, if NEC announces something different, could that be a problem?
Now, yeah. The hypothetical is, let's say there was an error, which is a possibility, with Amaral Collins got data, and next, and because of that, next announced the result they have, and it's contrary to what Unity Party has, that they have already projected GMV to be the winner. What reaction will come out of your supporter? What would that make them to do? Would they trust the result from Amaral Collins, or should they trust the result from the National Elections Commission?
All right, so let's be clear. As human beings, we're not infallible. But what we have now, right? He has made it very clear that if there is an inconsistency, that can be resolved. Will supporters be disappointed? Yes. Seditians are already feeling disappointed who listen to these results. They are disappointed that they've lost these elections. So if it turns out it is the other way around, we also will feel disappointed as passionate supporters of Joseph Boyka. Does that mean we should get violent? No. But we can only speak to that as a hypothetical, because the reality here is we have the exact tally sheets that are in possession of NEC. Unlike last time, we had some tally sheets and they were able to manipulate the results in the Southeast. We know that for a fact, as evidenced by Mr. Cummings criticizing the results, as well as other political parties. But right now, we're able to have placed some systems in place to monitor that reality, to the deployment of some 15,000 people. So we are simply hoping that, Ms. Divieta Lasana will do the right thing along with her staff to report what is right based on the tally sheets that they've given us. And all we're doing is just reporting what they've given us. So we are hoping that there will be no violence. Liberians have decided, and that the government will respect that decision, and that out of transparency, free and fairness, all sides will be able to embrace that decision. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Mr. Bola. Let me hear from you briefly on the question just asked to Reverend Adi. Now, let me just clarify the reason I'm creating this hypothetical, because we have a situation where Unity Party or Amaral Collins is very, very confident in his data. And now we have the elections commissions who have worked tirelessly during this elections process, and they have been commended by some international partner on how well they have handled these elections. Now, in the case where the data from Amaral Collins and the Unity Party has some type of error, making their results inconsistent with that of the National Elections Commission, thousands of Unity Party supporters have already heard Ambassador Boyka being announced as the next president. Now, what if those two results are not together? What should the public believe? The results from Amaral Collins or the results from the National Elections Commission?
Well, like Reverend Alex said, the inconsistent, if there's anything inconsistent with the result that has been coming from Amaral data analysis that we saw on Spoon Network, we also believe there's a hard copy. It's just not a soft copy that Amaral showing out there that he manipulated in his database. So those hard copies have been represented from rural polling stations and preaching around the country. So those are facts. Those are hard copy evidence. So if anything in the contrary, those are documents that can be challenged by the Unity Party to the Election Commission with facts. And we can go into recount. Amaral Collins is not just sitting in one room flying out information or picking up numbers and just throwing it in spreadsheets. If anybody watch our program, he shows the tally sheet signed by election clerks. So those are facts. Those are hard evidence. And I do believe on our brother on the other side, CDC does have the same tally sheet as well.
Yeah.
So this is not manufacturer information that is
It's
coming out.
interesting. It's interesting that you mentioned that, because I hope Lojo will join us shortly. But he did mention that from their war room, I mean, they haven't made that public. They haven't had any or talk show or whatever to do that presentation so the public can see it live. But he did mention that from their war room, they have counted 95% of the tally sheets they have, and they are winning. He said, though it's by a slim margin, but CDC is in the lead. So if that factors play in, now we have National Elections. Now we have National Elections Commission, the Unity Party, and CDC. Where does the public stand on that? Let me hear from you briefly, and then Mr. Jai Winkiwia and Mr. Boda will tap in on that.
So
yes, I was asking you, but let me hear from Mr. Boda. I will come back to you.
So here's the thing, right? The same document Election Commission does have no information. Like I said to you earlier. So a CDC has a war room that is sure they got 95% of these elections. They
have counted 95% of the tally sheets, and Blojo will
in that war room, that. And they show the people winning the elections. Given that is 5, and given that ours is 5, they will compare the two documents.
Where does the public stand? How do they react to that?
Well,
that's not concerned. The constituents had
discrepancies between.
So if we have any discrepancy, the election commission will resolve it.
Thank you. But let's hear briefly from Mr. Collins, and then Blojo will come in.
So the data from former finance minister and senator-elect is the data for NEC, because those raw data came from the pool washer that is working along with NEC. It's the same data that he's importing and putting it on the spreadsheet and analyzing it. It's not different.
How can you be sure of that?
Huh?
How can you be sure of that?
He's not there. He's not to every police center. So it's the data that was coming in. It's the same data that was coming in, going to NEC, and it's going to him.
What about the data that CDC has?
It's the same data that CDC has. CDC has the same data because according to them, if they are getting the same data, they're getting the same data from the NEC workers. Or their pool washer that are there are sending those data to them. So if there should be any discrepancy, any NEC will come in and square the discrepancy. That's why I understood.
Thank you very much. My question is, where does the public stand in all of this? NEC announced a result. CDC saying they have tally sheets to prove that they won the elections. Unity Party made a presentation earlier today stating that they won the elections. Where does the public stand in all of this? Let's hear from you, each other. I will come to you after.
Okay, go ahead.
Yeah, let's take a look, and I hope that we had it. Let's take a look at Amaral Connor's own document, the document Unity Party posted, the spreadsheet, and do an analysis of that very document at the time we posted 2 different times. No, I'm talking about what a document. This is CDC document. There's not Unity Party. There's not Unity Party. This CDC document from CDC. CDC. What I'm saying is that if we look at Amaral Connor's document, at the time he posted his first something he said was not 65%. If you analyze that document, it did not reflect the initial result that NEC gave, because there was discrepancy in the Bone County results. If you compare Amaral Connor's sheets and the national election sheet, you will see variance in the result from Bone County. That tells you that a document is not reflecting the actual report. If you look at his second report, again, you're going to see some variances with Grand Bassa and other counties. So we have examined the Unity Party document that I put up. The reason why, again, like I said, CDC, we have collected all of our tally sheets. But as of this, yesterday afternoon, because another day, we have tabulated 95% as of yesterday afternoon. That document was not reported or published until later on. That's later on tonight. given that tomorrow going to be the final results. And that's why we are convinced that Amaran Corner is giving this information, because just his own document, I'm not saying or CDC document or anybody document, just look at his own document that he's published and examine it, and you'll see discrepancy with his number. The results he's showing, and you do a calculation, it's not reflected. There's discrepancy in his own document. And so if you look at that document alone, it is not new. That's Unity Party modus operandi. They have always come off strongly, making noise and spewing disinformation. We saw the same thing in the first round. And look, let's be clear right here. The trend of the second round result, as we are looking at it, is similar to the first round result. In the first round, Unity Party won Nima County, they won Lofa County, they won Cape Mount, they won Bombing, they won Babalu, they won Magibi. It's the same trend that playing out right now. And in that first round result, despite winning those counties, the CDC got more votes than Unity Party at the end of the final results. There were several times that Unity Party led the CDC, but they lost at the end. This election is the same thing. They won those same counties. And more challenging to Unity Party that they are trying to squeeze the number in is that in a stronghold where they won the last time, the number have reduced. In Nima County, they are not getting the same number they won in the last elections, not in Maserado. So we are not bothered by the disinformation campaign. Today is already daybreak. Today in Liberia, when NEC announced those results, we are convinced from our tally sheets. That's why we are very deliberate, and we took our own time to tabulate those numbers and vet them. We are convinced that the actual results, based on the tally sheet from the NEC, policy across the road, will show the CDC as a winner of these elections.
Thank you, Blote. Let me stay with you for a second. You mentioned 95% of the results have been calculated from your war room, and it shows that CDC is winning these elections. Now, my question to you is, the results announced by the national elections so far, is it consistent with what you guys have? And also, you have some of, let me finish. You have some of the most influential, let's say, talk show hosts on your side, and we saw special election nights on, especially election night brought by Harold Costa and some other influential talk show hosts in the broad media landscape. But why didn't your war room provide those information for them so they can make just as convincing statement as the Unity Party is doing on the other side with Amaran Corner? Why aren't you guys making that argument that you guys have enough tally sheets to prove that you guys are winning these elections?
So we have our own strategy, and I think this is an ambush that are going to destroy Unity Party. We have our own strategy. We knew they were going to engage in the kind of juvenile antics, and so we waited for them to fall in this ambush. Look, take for example, in our spreadsheet, look at Nima County. Unity Party is above 75% on our spreadsheet. I mean 70%. The CDC is around 27% on our spreadsheet. That shows you how reflective our numbers are. We understood that we are not winning Nima County. Okay, if you look in other places, so we're not giving ourselves false numbers. You will see that the irregular CDC number are very low compared to the fake number the Unity Party has spewed out. I mean, look at this graph, and you will see. So as of yesterday afternoon, we have on our tally sheet, but we're only able to tabulate 95%. And this graph here that we're looking at shows, based on the number there, that the CDC is in the lead, and the CDC is going to win these elections.
Thank you very much, Brother Chubby Channel. Let's hear from you, Reverend Adi, real quickly.
You know, it is quite frankly amazing how Blow J makes the assertion that they're doing exceptionally well, but he leaves out the fact that even though they won Bassa, we did exceptionally well. Looking at that trend, we narrowed the margins in Bassa. Make no mistake, we increased our margins in Nima County. So I'm wondering whether or not he listened to the results that was read by the NEC woman, Mrs. Devieta today. You look at Montserrado County, we also increased in that area. So yes, the trend is consistent. But what he fails to pay attention to is the reality that there have been vote increments on the parts of Unity Party, as evidenced by the tally sheets that were consistent with the numbers, quite frankly, with minor variance reported by NEC today. So, unlike the CDC, Bloje is telling us tonight that they got their own strategy, but the strategy is graph. What we did today was not only to show you our numbers, but we have the fourth estate in our situation room, looked at the data, and interestingly, what made it even more authentic was the fact that on the Spoon Network, a reputable institution that is changing the political landscape of our country, he was asked as to whether or not he had Bapolu tally sheet, which Ms. Devieta Lasana said she didn't have it. And he was able to, with his staff, produce the sheet, signed with NextStem, and showed it to the public. So Bloje can pretend that we don't have evidence, but we did show tally sheets. The fourth estate was in our situation room. They walked through the room to let the public know that this is where we're getting our numbers. In fact, we even chartered a plane that went to Maryland and had tally sheets gotten from Grand Jude, Sino, Grand Crew to be able to fly back to Monrovia, and that raw data was inputted. So we've been very transparent. We're not fabricating numbers because we want to win. What we are reporting is what is in the possession of NEC. So if CDC claims that they have their tally sheet, and of course, we'll not see some of the members asking around for tally sheets. And that is why the executive mansion put up a graph and they ended up taking it down, because they knew very well that those numbers were not reflective of the reality on the ground, but in fact, a fabrication. So I can see why they're waiting for NEC and not also reporting like the Alto, because they're hoping that NEC will do something magical. I hope that doesn't happen, Bloje, for the greater good of our country.
Well, he said, I know you touched on it briefly, but I'd like you to build on that. He said CDC is literally being strategic about it. Unity Party has fallen into their ambush. Can you respond to that?
Oh, I mean,
yes.
as we are, all right, so good. So as far as we are concerned, we didn't come into these elections for gotcha moment. We aren't reporting these results for gotcha moment. We respect a free, fair, and transparent democratic elections. All we are doing is holding the NEC accountable to what they should already have in their possession. So they can call it a trap. We are not in this for a trap. We're in this to inform the Liberian people, to let them know that their democracy is working for them. And in fact, they've participated in these elections, and they can be confident in the fact that we are reporting what is absolutely transparent, what is absolutely a source document being imported and presented for their consumption. We aren't in this to fool the public. What we have reported is what is already in the possession of NEC. So for political reasons, Mr. Choppy Charlie can state that it is a trap. Listen, campaign is over. Trap or no trap, we are reporting for transparency so that Liberian people know that they have voted for change, and hopefully they can also become the change they believe in. Thank you.
Quick question, quick question, if I may ask a very quick question. Did you have Babolu in two of your reports? Do you have data from Babolu in two of your reports?
Great. Very, very good question. And that is why I had hoped you had watched the Spoon Network, because I also watched
you didn't have the two earlier reporter.
No, we had we had Bapolu. In fact, it was Bapolu tally sheet that we showed today.
Your two earlier report, did you have Babolu? That's the question I'm asking you.
Well, I cannot readily recall now, but what I do know is, hold on. I'm not saying that it wasn't there. I'm telling you, I do not recall. But what I do know is, Bapolu, in fact, when the senator-elect was asked if he had Bapolu timesheet, because Mr. Waterspoon the NEC told us that she didn't have Bapolu because it had not come in. But we had Bapolu, and we showed the Bapolu timesheet to let you know how rigorous we are and how meticulous we are in presenting the facts. So we are not in this to deceive the public. We are not ambitious. In fact, Derek, when Mr. Connie was asked in his first presentation to make a call, he said, no, I cannot do that until I at least get 70% of the data in. So we didn't come to this issue ambitiously because we want to win. We wanted the public to know and even acknowledge that NEC is the official announcer of these results. But the facts are being reported as per the tally sheets that are also in the possession of NEC. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Just real quick. Yes, I'll come to you.
What Reverend Adam was saying in terms of Babu,
yeah, go ahead. I'm about to ask Floje on that line, but go ahead.
So here's the thing. Amara clearly stated in that information that he was not reporting on the Babu situation because the information was talented, but NEC had not reported on it. So he's not going to add that data in his data to announce that as a win for Unity Party. But they hold on to that data and they wait on NEC to come up with a result tomorrow. But he was sharing with the general public for information's sake that information had been distributed to everybody that were at that precinct. The BAPL is now completed, 100%. And that's why he displayed the tally sheet. The tally sheets.
Thank you very much, Floje. Let me come to you. Is that why were you interested in knowing as to if
because there was again another disinformation at the time he was making an argument. If you go on NEC website, you'll see the BAPL data there. And it was saying there was no result from Babylon. So I'm just trying to show us some of these discrepancies from Amara Conan to show that the information they are giving the people are not factual and not correct. And it is not new. So look, for us, we understand the Unity Party. That's why I'm even asking this critical question. I'm going back to Unity Party ownership of this data. These are the very people who even said on yesterday, before the announcement, they said that CDC stopped the ballot box. There were pre-marked ballots, and CDC has duped the elections. And based on the pre-marked ballot, now they are claiming victory. Does it really make sense that CDC with pre-marked ballot for Unity Party to be leading the CDC? So why the CDC now pre-marked the ballot for themselves to win? I'm only exposing the repeated deception of the Unity Party, the repeated disinformation of the Unity Party, that they come up and with bold face and strength, with confidence of deception, to tell Liberian people that they are so great, that they are master of information, they are so credible. When in reality, I've always shown repeatedly, and we saw in the last election, that these are people that have not displayed credibility. They have not displayed integrity. All they are doing is propaganda. And we have refused to engage in such propaganda. The numbers reflect the results at the appropriate time. And we are sure of that.
Thank you, Bishop Reeves. We haven't heard from you for quite a while now. So give us your take on this. We have a situation where Unity Party have done their calculations, saying that from what they have in the war room, Ambassador Bwaka will replace President Weah, and also CDC is saying that from what they have in the war room, according to Bloje, they foresee President Weah re-elections. What is your take on this? How should the public react to this? How do the supporters of CDC and Unity Party react to it? Just in case the national election announce a result that doesn't favor one side who claim to have won the elections.
Well, it is already getting toxic. So I say let's wait for NEC. And once they give their results, we follow what NEC is saying. But I'm coming back to what I said to you guys last week. We have become very personal and very toxic on both sides. And because it's happening, by the time NEC comes up with her results, one person will already be crying foul. Yes. So I'm saying that both sides need to be patient, and let's wait for NEC to come up with her results. And then whatever the result is, we move on with the country. That's all we need to do.
Thank you, Bishop Reeves. Let's hear from you quickly, Mr. Jai Winkin. I know you have rebuttal, but I didn't come to you earlier. But let me hear from you, and then Councilor Freeman will actually take us on our break, and then after we will get into other conversation.
Well, I think Bloje, what I wanted to say was I because Blue Jay is disputing everything from Spoon. But then I listened to partly listened to Spoon yesterday when they were reporting from Bond County, where they said Waka only won 2 districts in the whole of Bond County. I don't think that was deceptive if you were talking about deception. Overall,
I didn't mention Spoon yet. I've never mentioned Spoon.
no, you are talking about the party. I mean the UP party, because that Spoon is the one that reporting the stuff on that's Amara Connor who does the reporting on the channel right there.
No, I'm talking about Amara Connor did that shit.
Yeah,
They're
that's
not
what
talking
I'm
about
saying.
Spoon.
But
let's pretend
but
Mr.
Blue Jay,
Weir.
I have to make a correction.
I will
no,
give you
but
the opportunity to make
Amara was
correction.
reporting on Spoon TV. He wasn't doing it. That's what you're doing on Spoon TV. But he reported Bond County that CDC when he said UP won only 2 districts in the whole of Bond County. Or the other thing that we all been seeing is that like even though you are saying you guys have 95%, I wanted to know when you say 95% of the tally, are you talking about the entire project? Are you talking? Can you clarify whether you are talking about the entire country or part of what has been counted?
I said as of yesterday, they have tabulated 95% of the data, the total tally sheet we have from across the country. So we have more than 95%, but we are only at that yesterday. That's where we started. So as of today, it's already done. The 5% is already done. But the information that the data that was published by that time was 95%.
Well,
That was
you said
tabulated.
as of this moment, the other 5%.
So as of today,
Tabulated, yes.
as of today, you believe that the counting is completed. Is that right?
It has been tabulated. It's just a matter of tabulating. We have all the tally sheets, but they are tabulating it at that time.
And your numbers are showing you that President Weir will eventually win the elections.
That's why our number is reflecting.
Okay. All right, thank you. Thank you, bro. You want to go ahead? Let me take Councilor Freeman.
No. Let him go.
Yes, Councilor Freeman, take us on our break with this. We have both sides claiming to have enough data to prove that they will emerge as winner for these elections. So talk to us on that. You're on mute, Councilor Freeman.
I think what we are saying just from the panelists is indicative of the tension that might ensue when the results are finally announced, which is why it is critically important for all sides to exercise restraint and be patient. Now, let me say this. There will be a winner, ultimately. And the other party may disagree. Article 83, Section C of the 1986 Constitution lays it out clearly what the process is. If you disagree with the National Election Commission, go to your lawyers. They will advise you about the process. But there will be a winner, there will be a loser in the end. Let's all accept the result, provided the result is a reflection of the will of the people. My hope is that the National Election Commission is going to do the right thing. Okay, Liberians, all of us, every Liberian who have exercised their rights thus far are hoping that their will be reflected in the outcome of the elections.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much, Councilor Freeman. Guys, if you're watching us, this is the Hard Zone right here on the Liberia Radio and Television Network. My name is Derek Yale, and I'm playing host tonight with a team of panelists here: Mr. Weir, Mr. Boda, Reverend Addy, Bishop Collins, Councilor Freeman, Bishop Reeves, and Blue J. Choppy Charlie. Stay with us. We'll take a very brief break, and when we come back, we will bring you more of the Hard Zone. This is episode 11, season 4 of the Hard Zone. We will see you right after the break.
Hey there. Many Liberians are members of social clubs, 501c NGOs, and school alumni. Many Liberians are trying to open their own 501c NGOs, home care agencies, and social clubs. Does your organization have a professional website? Does your web platform have the right wording and content to attract grants? Hopefully you're not running your organization only through social media. There's a more professional route. You need an online space where you can craft a positive message about your organization, making your home health agency more credible, which will increase your chances to receive grants. We'll build you a responsive platform for 501c organizations, healthcare agencies, and other types of organizations. We'll provide you with full website maintenance, membership sign-in, private charts, Facebook and WhatsApp integration, live video feed for all your meetings and special occasions, a dashboard for members to see all the activities, and email and text auto reminders for meetings. We'll build with donors and 501cs in mind, and will help you solicit grants and automatic membership due collections. Building you this amazing platform will only be a membership fee of $19 a month. Call or email us now. Let's upgrade your website. Home health agencies and small businesses, you owe it to your company to project the best image possible, and we can make it happen. Visit www.tiamit.com or call 215-966-8679. Ask for Tommy.
Maintaining your vehicle can be a major investment. That's why here at Brothers Auto Care, we pride ourselves on providing professional and reliable auto care at affordable rates. Whether you need an inspection, new brakes, or diagnostic reports, our skillful and experienced mechanics are here for you every step of the way. Call Brothers Auto Care now to schedule your next auto maintenance and repair service. At Brothers Auto Care, we help you drive home with peace of mind.
Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you again for staying with us here on the Liberia Radio and Television Network, bringing to you episode 11, season 4 of the Horizon. My name is Derek Yale, and I'm playing host tonight. I'm here with a team of panelists, Mr. Martin Boda, Mrs. Elizabeth Collins, Peter Reeves, Reverend Adi, and Blow J. Choppy Charlie. You've heard the conversation from our previous segment on the elections. Both sides are claiming victory based on the data they have. But I think it's important that we make the public aware that from the results from the National Elections Commission website, with 86.71% of the results being announced, it is still too close to call. Ambassador Joseph Yemambwaka is in the lead with 50.58%. And President George Manuel Weah is just behind with 49.42%. Before we get into our next conversation, I would like for us to talk about our next conversation is going to be based on the numbers coming out of those counties. For example, Lofa County with 100% of the vote of the results being announced. So I want for us to talk about, have this conversation based on the numbers coming out of the county. For example, Masterado County, Bond County, or Nema County. So before we have that conversation, let me encourage those of you watching us to please share this program on your Facebook page, and also make sure that you're following the Liberia Radio and Television Network. Find that follow button, follow, like, subscribe, so that you can benefit from all of the content that we will have for you going forward. Now, these runoff elections have been a very, very, very tough one and very interesting election if you would think about it like that. So now let's have this conversation based on the numbers of votes coming out of the counties. Now, I'd like to start with you, Reverend Addy. Nema County, the National Elections Commission has now announced 78%. And we're seeing that Ambassador Boyka, 109,694, and President Weah just 43,564, 28.43%. And we're looking into other counties, but just talk generally about the numbers based on a county by county basis. Reverend Addy.
Right. So first of all, I certainly want to appreciate all Liberians who participated in these elections, especially those who believed in the vision of the Honorable Vice President Joseph Imam Boyka. We say thank you. Thank you for your belief in change. And we trust that God's grace will be able to manage the affairs of state come tomorrow when the mandate is received. I thank the people of Nema.
I'm sorry to interrupt, but is it just me? But Mistress Collins' video is coming in somewhat distorted. Is it just me? Do you guys see?
No, I think she left her seat. Yeah, it's kind of going on.
Oh, okay. All right. Go ahead. I'm sorry.
Right. So clearly you can see that Nimba, the citizens of Nimba, thanks to you all for standing up for the change you can believe in. And the fact that we are polling numbers at that level simply tells you how committed, dedicated, desperate the people of Nimba demonstrated their love for country by trusting Joseph Imam Boyka with their voice to make this difference. So those numbers are quite indicative of what they had done for us and even better in the first round. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Let's hear from you, Bishop Reeves. Talk to us about these numbers coming out of on a county by county basis. Let me hear from you.
No. I really can't say much about those numbers.
Why is that?
No.
Why is that?
Honestly, I can't say much about the numbers. If you notice, I've listened to the numbers that come out. I've not been able to analyze numbers. I'm just waiting for the result.
Thank you very much, Bishop Reeves. Let me hear from you now, Mr. Bolden. For you can talk to us on the numbers coming out of this all of the counties. For example, Monserrado County, we see it's a very close call there. Ambassador Boyka, 51.3%. With President Weah, 48.63%. 89% of the vote has been announced.
Well, what that shows to me, what I think and seeing is that the trend with these numbers, they tell you the strength of each political group. We still have the tribal nature in our politics, which is playing on the national scene. The political party have kind of regionalized their base in terms of tribal ethnicity. So if you see the Southeastern is kind of show you that, hey, this is our son. Because the composition of CDC is, if you look at that leadership, that the government is heavily based in the Southeastern. Most of the officials, ministers, and top official government all come from the Southeastern. Now you see the composition with the Unity Party in terms of their current structure. You see Nema County is being headed by the vice president to be, okay, Jeremiah Kuhn. So you see the composition in Nema, how the vote is turning out. Then you go to Bone County, you see the nature. Because Joel Howard is from Bone County, but you see because of her, whatever impact that she had made or they made in Bone County, reflecting the struggle for the CDC in Bone County. So if you count on Maserati, which was the strongest base for CDC for a whole political career since the onset of CDC, Maserati was the strongest base for CDC. And since we won the election in 2017, they have lost almost every election in every military and so forth. So they had that struggle. The young generation, it was not the other educated-based group that was supporting the CDC. It was the youngest generation, people who saw George Weah in our likeness from the slum, who felt the impact of George Weah, that is saying that, hey, George Weah and I come from the same place. We slept in the same slum, had the same struggle. That generation of 1990, which have been left behind, all through, gave it all to George Weah. And that generation in Maserati feel disappointed by the CDC-led government. So you see that playing in the election in Maserati. But if it comes to people who didn't already believe George Weah, that's a group you see affiliated with all the different political parties. That group is the group that is in the different political parties. They call them the elite group, the educated, and the people who in our class. And the CDC was basically considered as the common people, people of no people that being looked down upon. But they felt disappointed in some way through the CDC government that they trusted. So that is why you see vote playing the way it play in the rural counties.
Thank you very much, Mr. Boda. Let's hear from you, Blue Jay, Choppy Charlie, based on these numbers coming out of the counties in this election.
I first want to begin with the regional point you raised about Nima County with Joseph Braga 109. And again, from our data point, we have tabulated showing that the Unity Party indeed is going to get more votes in Nima County. So they're going to get more than 150 or some more thousand, and the CDC will be around 50 some more thousand. So that tells you the honesty of our tabulation, that we are projecting more votes for Unity Party in Nima County, and the CDC will have less votes. It tells the credibility of our elections, of our data bit. But interestingly, one of the things we have to look at is we look at the numbers of polling places that have left in the country. Across the whole country, you have about 700 plus polling places that have not yet been tabulated by National Elections Commissions. And those polling places, when it's split, you will see that about a little bit more of those polling stations are in the stronghold of the Unity Party, that is in Nima County. Maserati gave the column of Maserati to Unity Party, so we say Nima, Maserati, and then we have Babulu. But interestingly, if you look at those areas where the Unity Party is projected to win based on the tally results, you'll see that apart from Babulu, there is strong competition in the remaining areas in Nima counties, because most of the places that the Unity Party blew up the CDC, the areas where Unity Party had like 300 votes and the CDC will have like 30 votes, those areas have already been tabulated in favor of the Unity Party. The other areas that is left in Unity Party is where the CDC is performing better than in the second round. So that means the CDC is going to slow down the Unity Party vote in those areas in Nima County. And then when we come to Maserati, a similar thing going to play out. In Babulu County, they're going to have bigger numbers. But then when you look on the side that the CDC has, the CDC own areas, the CDC is projected to win in the CDC stronghold, you will see that there's huge disparities. The CDC is winning about 90% of the vote in those areas. So when you calculate that, that's why we are confident that if we put these 700 plus remaining polling stations together, split them, you calculate the number from both areas, you're going to see the CDC winning these elections. Look at Lofa County. Look at Foya. The CDC performed better in Lofa County in the second round than we did in the first round. So generally across the country, the CDC performance was at a better rate because the Unity Party did not gain much vote across the country as they did in the first round, because those endorsements did not play out. And then before I end, I want to speak to the question of tribalism. This tribalism argument, I continue to hear from supporter of Joseph Braga, is false argument. Again, another false argument. The reason why the Southeast is voting heavily against the Unity Party is not because the South is tribalistic. It is because the Unity Party have always ran a tribalistic campaign against the Southeast. As far back as 2005, the Unity Party demonized the Southeast as a crown hegemony, as a Samuel Doe base, and that demonization did not over well, especially coming from war, where the Nimba people of Nimba County and the Southeastern class. So naturally, they supported in these elections. Joseph Boakai refused to campaign in the Southeast. He killed all those people out. And the argument that Unity Party, that CDC have, or official for Unity Party, from the Southeast, that's why they are voting, is false. No, that's the reality. The tribalism nature of Unity Party is dangerous. When Unity Party led Liberia for 12 good years, the president came from the northwestern region. The vice president, Joseph Boakai, came from the northwestern region. The speaker came from the northwestern region. The deputy speaker came from the same region. The president pro tem came from the region. The finance minister came from that region. The foreign minister came from that region. And most of the top people in government during their power days came from one side of the country. There was no time the CDC demonized that group. We did not call them troubling. We did not say, wow, these people are coming there. We did not preach that kind of hate. Now the CDC is in power. We saw this kind of hatred coming from the Unity Party. And it is this hate that the people in the South is resisted. And so they voted against the UP. But West case, Boakai did not campaign there. He refused to speak to these people. He canceled them out. He did not value the humanity. The CDC went into their zone and campaign, and so we're able to get more vote. And so this tribalism argument is only on the side of the Unity Party. The CDC is not on our side.
Thank you very much, Roger Chopin. Now let's come to you, Mr. Jai Winkin. Let's talk about these numbers coming out of the counties. And to Roger's point, though, when we look at the performances of both candidates in their home time, they on the percent wise, since the President George Weah Wea did well in Ambassador Boakai hometown, then Ambassador Boakai did in President Weah hometown. But talk to us on these numbers coming out of the counties.
Okay, the only thing I see with the argument is that in the southeastern, where I came from myself, we do not have that much population compared to most of these counties. I will not be conclusive because I don't know the total votes from the southeastern region, meaning registered voters in the southeastern region. Or the last time when I checked, I think almost Nimba alone can account for the population of the southeast. Given what Bloje is saying, I don't know what is the performing level from the southeast by the Unity Party, because I know even though Boakai didn't go, but we have people we got people that are from the southeast, from the MPP side, that was also campaigning for the Unity Party. But having said that, if Bloje argument is based on the stronghold argument, CDC used to be very strong in Moserado as well. That means something went wrong. Now, what I also noticed about CDC, if they were to lose, is that I think they weren't willing to listen. They thought they were doing everything right because the president himself, Weah, always boasted that being the best president. He think by ignoring people, Bloje talk about Boakai ignoring the people of the Southeast. The last time I checked President Weah, he know all the cries of the Liberian people. He did respected them despite all the criticism, despite all that went on over the 6 years that he ruled as a president. He never one day, for the sake of respect of the Liberian people, he never one day recognized that he was a servant of the people, or he's a servant of the people. He's accountable to them. It is his obligation, whether bad news or good news, to talk to your people. You as the servant, they employ you through their vote. That is why they are going back now for another to be higher again. So if we are were to lose, it is because of his failure to communicate, to talk to the Liberian people. Whenever something happens, he just remain quiet. He doesn't care. He doesn't have to. He doesn't have to fix it overnight. But at least to say, "Oh my people, this is what happened. This is what I know. My government will do it best to get to the bottom of this." You expect, but Weah is not the only. He's not the first president.
Yes, I'm sorry to interrupt.
One more point. Yeah, I will end.
Go ahead.
I was very young, but I know people criticize Doe, but Doe was very effective, maybe communicating, even though things went bad. But for Weah, the problem he has is I try to talk about this because Blodgett said Boakai, he know the people that side, but Weah, he know the entire Liberian people by refusing to address any issue they raise.
Yeah, I was just going to ask you a quick question because based on what you said, if Weah were to lose and you stated the reason, now my question would be if Ambassador Boakai were to lose the election, what would be the reason?
If Ambassador Boakai were to lose, then the Liberian people resolve that they prefer Weah over him. Ambassador Boakai, like the problem with Ambassador Boakai mainly is his age. That's why most Liberians that I talk to, people talk about his age. So if he were to lose, it will be because of his age.
Thank you very much. Mrs. Collins, let's hear from you on these numbers coming out of the counties during these elections.
Well, these numbers are they are relevant. We'll start with Lofa County. Lofa County have 5 political districts and Sarah Traps. And in Foya, which is where Joseph Boakai from, we have Thomas Fala. Thomas Fala is a sedition. He wants to support his party. So the sedition pumped enough money there to get votes. And the votes that he got, some of the votes that he got, came from across, which Foya share border with Sierra Leone and Guinea. He trucked people from Guinea, from Foya. And so those numbers that came from there, that's how they got some of those numbers. Now, you come to Massarado County. Massarado County is a large county, it's the largest county. And you have people from all counties in Massarado County. And Massarado County used to be one of the strongest hold of the sedition. But they started to lose ground a little bit. Even though they still have people that support George Weah. With everything that we are talking, we still have people that support George Weah because they're going neck to neck. And so these numbers that is coming in, and they are coming in because people that are still supporting them. Now, we talk about the tribalism. The people from the Southeast, they started all this. A Lofa County man will easily vote for somebody from the Southeast. But the Southeasterners, they put all their weight behind George Weah because of their son. And that's how the Lofa County people say, if the Southeasterner can support their own, why we can't support our own? So we should be encouraged to support our own too. So if anybody should be talking about tribal land, it should be the Southeast, because the Southeasterners, there are not many people. They are not populated. And so these numbers are coming because, and regardless what somebody say, Liberian politics is a tribal politics. People vote for people because they're from the same tribe, which is sad, but that's why it is. We are not educated to the point where, you vote somebody in because of what, they can deliver. Now because y'all can speak the same tribe.
So yeah, just to that point, are you saying that the people or the Liberian vote based on tribal law more than the vote based on the issue?
At this particular election, yes.
All right, thank you. Let me. I don't know if you would like to, Mr. Weah, mention your name, Lord. I don't know if you would like to rebuttal to him.
I was waiting for that. I wanted to respond to. He said something about. He also talks about Maserado, and the Maserado question about CDC losing Maserado traditionally, and this is probably we don't look at the number. We don't look at the history of elections in our country. Maserado tradition has always been a hotbed for opposition. If you look at the elections history of Liberia, the opposition has always won Maserado County. So it is not surprising that the opposition have won Maserado or is winning Maserado. The CDC understood this, and that's why we did not anticipate that we were going to win Maserado. And similar to Maserado is a question of Lofa County. For anybody to suggest that the Southeast started this tribalism party, then again, we're not looking at the numbers. In 2017, the whole of Lofa voted for Joseph Boakai. Alone, they voted for Boakai. They didn't vote for any other person. What tribalism is that? That only you alone, the whole country voted for this person, and the whole country voted for the other person. So who is really pronounced tribalist? But the reality here is that I think Lofa people have redeemed themselves. We are happy with the vote that the CDC got in Lofa County in these elections. We thought the Lofians put development over the tribe. Despite the vote, Joseph Boakai has the highest number. But the performance of George Weah in Lofa County was reasonable, and we appreciate that. And we say thanks to the people of Lofa County. What has happened in this election, the most pronounced tribalism has come from Nima County, particularly from the Geo Belt. Because of Prince Johnson, this is where the pronounced tribalism has really exposed itself. That even in Sacre PA, on election night, where the Unity Party did win the vote, yet they engaged in violence because they believe that CDC should not have gotten any vote in Geo Belt. That's the definition of hardcore tribalism. So the Southeastern North Georgia has practiced tribalism. 2 elections before 2017, the Southeast lost the vote and accepted the result with all argument, and peace has reigned in this country. So the numbers, as we've seen today, again, we will repeat that part. The trend and reflection of this number is clearly reflecting what is happening in the first round of these elections, where Unity Party won most of the big counties and lost the elections at the end of the day. And similarly, going to happen. They're going to win this big county and they're going to lose at the end of the day.
Thank you very much, Lord Chubby Channel. Let me come to you, Reverend Adi. I don't know if you would like to rebuttal to anything, but I do have a question for you, based on what was said by some of our panelists. Now, Mistress Collins agreed to the fact that agreed to the argument that Liberia in some of the counties or in most of the county voted on a tribal basis. Now, my question to you would be, because that goes against your argument that Liberians are tired with the way President Weah has ran the country in the past 5 to 6 years. And my question to you would be, if that is the case, are Liberian, since according to this argument, they are not voting on the issues, they are voting on a tribal basis. So would you say that this result reflects that President Weah has actually been really bad for the country, or the people are actually tired with the way President Weah led the country in the last 5 to 6 years?
The concept of tribalism is a very strong one. When you look at the Southeast and the development that President Weah has taken there, we have yet to see access to the Southeast infrastructurally. Road is damaged. He has to go through Ivory Coast. So for that region that has not enjoyed any substantial economic activity or infrastructural development under this president, to have overwhelmingly voted for him, yes, one can surmise that is based on tribalism. But you see, irrespective of their decision, We in the Unity Party or sympathizers of Joseph Imamboyka, we have grown beyond that. We're not politicking. We are focused now on reconciling our political differences as evidenced by the results anticipated from the next on tomorrow. You know, we are not here to campaign or paint who is more tribal than the other. But the reality of the matter is Liberia is at a crucial juncture. And we encourage our brothers in the CDC, the ANC or CPP, and all Liberians to join hands. Let's think Liberia, love Liberia, and build Liberia. So we do not intend to relitigate this matter. Anyone who comes to power, which I anticipate will be Joseph Imamboyka, he is looking forward to taking development to the southeast, western region of Liberia, central region of Liberia, northern region of Liberia, eastern region of Liberia. So we are not going to manage our resources on the basis of who voted for us or who didn't. Liberians will have an opportunity to participate in their resources as they ought to through the county development funds that have been squandered under this government. But the fact remains is we intend to unite the country owing to the fact that we anticipate victory. And when that victory is realized by tomorrow, should NEC do the right thing, Seditians are Liberians. The Southeasterners are Liberians. And we intend to lead beyond tribalism, better yet for the national greater good of the country. Thank you. Derek, you are muted.
Thank you. I'm sorry. Thank you, Reverend Adi. Before we take our break and bring you the icebreaker round and give our panelists the opportunity to close on this episode, I would just like to announce that the numbers that you just saw on screen is consistent with what were announced by the National Elections Commission today. And this list was compiled by our production team. So there you have it. These are the exact figures from the National Elections Commission. Just to give you an idea on the trend of the results coming out of the National Elections Commission. With that being said, we will take a very brief break. When we come back, we'll bring you the icebreaker round, and then we will give our panelists the opportunity to give their closing remark, and then we will draw the curtain to this episode. We'll see you after the break. Here the production team. Welcome back, guys. If you're watching us, this is the Liberia Radio and Television Network. My name is Derek Yale, and I'm moderating tonight on episode 11, season 4 of The Hard Zone. It has been a very, very interesting program here tonight. We brought you the discussions surrounding the results. Both political institutions have done their calculations. They are confident that they are going to emerge as winner of these elections. The National Elections Commission is now playing referee, and they have announced 86% of the vote. I don't have the exact figure here, and then Ambassador Bouaga is in the lead, and this is a very close one to call with just under 2%, a little over 1% margin between Ambassador Bouaga and President George Manneh Weah. Before I come to you guys for your closing remark, I would like to bring you the icebreaker round. As was announced in our current event, Lone Star will be taking on Malawi tomorrow in the World Cup qualifier match number 1 at the Samuel Kando Sports Complex tomorrow. Lone Star will be taking on Malawi. So that will be our icebreaker. What is your prediction? What do you think of that match? Let's get this political cap off of us. Let's talk about the Lone Star of Liberia against Malawi tomorrow. What are you guys anticipating? What do you think? We think is going to emerge as the winner. This one got nothing to do with NEC. So just talk to us about Lone Star game tomorrow. If you're watching us, leave your prediction in the comment section And let's see what's going to happen tomorrow. Let me start with you, Mr. Boda. Liberia versus Malawi. What is your prediction? What is your take on that match tomorrow?
Great. See, the good thing is the pre-victory match begin tomorrow. Because everybody going to be together, they're going to talk about politics tomorrow.
I love what you did there.
So everybody going to start the pre-victory match tomorrow. You're going to see all these tension that been building, all these arguments tomorrow. You see around across the country, Lone Star will win. People will be jubilating, and this will all fall right within the celebration of our newly elected president.
I mean, Lone Star official color red, white, and blue. Nowhere there we have any green. So will you be urging people to not wear any? What happened?
No matter what color comes. The red,
so they shouldn't
national color.
Tomorrow, right?
It's a national color. You see all color on our field tomorrow. You see green. You see
what is their prediction?
That game is 2-1. Lone Star will win 2.
Lone Star 2 wins. The confidence for me. Adi, talk to us.
Well, you're asking Liberians as to whether or not a foreign team will beat us. And we're supposed to make a prediction.
I mean, go right ahead.
I think the only prediction will be the difference.
You want to know who
I want to
will win,
know
right?
a little scoreline.
That makes different,
yeah.
Okay, well, I know I'm very confident that we will win Malawi. And I'm hoping we can beat them 3-0.
3-0. The last time Lone Star met, they won Malawi 1-0. But let's hear from you, Mr. Weir.
Well, I said that tomorrow marking the beginning of Nationalism Day, as I call that. Nationalism Day tomorrow between Malawi and Liberia. Of course, Liberia is going to win 2-0.
2-0. What about you, Mr. Collins?
You think people will really pay attention to that game?
Well, I know I'm gonna be watching that game tomorrow.
Yeah, because you're here. You're not on ground. And you are here, you're not be paying attention to that game. But I hope we can win tomorrow. I wish them victory.
Thank you. Bloody Choppy Charlie.
I think this is the first agreement I have with Jawi Crane tonight. The magic number is 2. Number 2-20.
Well, we're seeing some predictions.
Yeah. No. I wouldn't be here.
We're seeing some prediction in the comment. Well, that's the one thing I love about Liberian, though, about us. Even though there is no evidence to point to the fact that we should be confident that we're going to win Malawi based on our previous game results, but we still, every single match, no matter what condition the country is in, no matter what it is going on, we always hopeful that Lone Star is going to win. So my prediction is going to be 2-1. That's going to be my prediction. I think Lone Star can pull this off. Malawi is not like one of the great countries when it comes to soccer in Africa. So I think Lone Star can definitely secure a win. I'm really confident that they can, and especially playing home. So Lone Star will definitely secure that win. And I would like to urge Liberian, if you have the time, if you can, go support the boys and let's get that win. And also don't forget the content media is coming up as well. So let's unite on that front. After that, we will talk about politics. Again, guys, thank you so much for your contribution in the icebreaker round. Now let's get back to our business as usual, but this time asking you guys for your closing remark. So let me start with you, Mr. Martin Boda. Give us your closing on this episode.
Well, I want to say thanks to every Liberians and that it's over. All of the political rivalry and whatever we did during the political period, the campaign, and the rest of it is gone behind. And every Liberian that we move forward with unity to reunite ourselves, that is a democracy. Somebody must win. whoever win tomorrow, let's all rally in around that person and let us serve that term. We are all Liberians, no matter what. We got our differences, but we love each other. And politics is politics. After tomorrow, we're going back to business as usual. So I ask every Liberian to be peaceful. Let's go celebrate tomorrow on the football field, watch a game, drink some beer, have fun, and laugh, and take the stress out. I know it's been stressful over the period, but you can change the situation at this moment. Like if people say you can start it in December. So it's over. Whatever the result is, it's in the hands of the net. And let us move on. Let's hug our brothers. But Broje, like I said, let's drink. Right now, star. You can join me. If you win tomorrow, and share with me. Good night.
Okay.
Thank you. I just when you were giving a closing remark, I just thought about it. I think it's going to be a bittersweet day for some Liberian tomorrow. So the game is at 11. NEC press conference is at 4:30. So we're going to see what happened. Reverend Adi, let me get a closing remark.
Well, my fellow Liberians who have participated in these elections, I want to say thank you. We've been on this platform, we've debated the issue, and those of you who were persuaded, we lent your support to Joseph Imamboika and Jeremiah Bakum. We say thank you. It is time now that we unite our country beyond our political differences in order to have a wholesome functioning Liberia, in the words of Wilmar Talbot and that of the Honorable Joseph Boyka. It is time now to engage thinking Liberia, demonstrating love for country so that we can together build Liberia. We understand that all of us as surrogates have hurt one another by the things we've stated out of the passion of our support for our candidates. But quite frankly, it is time, and that is why the Honorable Joseph Imamboika is looking forward to building a government of unity and inclusion. Based on meritocracy, if you have skills, you have an opportunity. But the collective development of Liberia is just not the prerogative of the government. It's all of us as Liberians. I encourage all of you to be peaceful as we listen to those results. Your vote have become your voice. Be patient, but be confident that change is in the future, not too distant. And you are that change, not just the government. God bless you.
Thank you very much, Reverend Adi. Let's hear from you, Mrs. Collins.
Yes, thank you, my fellow panelists. It has been an interesting moment. And as we listen to the final result tomorrow, I want us to be patient. Let us stay focused. Let us unite our country, accept the result, think about development, because we are way behind. Even though we are the oldest, but we are way behind. We have a lot to do. The journey is not over yet. We all have work to do. Let us stay focused and develop our country for our children, grandchildren, and our future. Good night, and see you in the next time around.
Thank you very much, Mrs. Collins. Let's now hear from you, Mr. Ja Winkin Weah.
All right, thank you, Derek. My fellow Liberians, now that you have shown those who seeking a vote that time to vote is the time that they use to teach those in power lessons. That is, when they do not listen to you, you will use the power of your vote to teach them lesson. But here is what I can say. Voting for someone is just the beginning of a democratic process. So that means after these elections, when those who you put the power get the power, you have to remain engaged to demand them to do the things you want them to do. It is clear, Article 1 of our Constitution says, whenever you are in power, your sole responsibility is to work for the security and protection of the people. It also says All those who elect are your servants. They are not your honorable people. They're supposed to be serving you. But looking at these results, it is too close to call based on the Election Commission announcement so far. So I will encourage all of us to be patient and wait for the final result from the Election Commission. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Mr. Jai Winkin. We upload your Choppy Charlie. Give us your closing remarks.
Yes, too close to call is a key word. I think we'll learn here tonight. The number of the CDC is number 2. The number 2 is represent, the V represent peace. And the CDC has demonstrated since its foundation as a party that have believed in peace and practice peace. Even when the CDC was cheated twice in these elections, we still remains patriotic citizen and supported the development of the country. So it will be no surprise, even if these elections have to go against the CDC. CDC has always been committed to the idea of peace and reconciliation. But we are also throwing on the challenge to our friends on the opposite side that when these elections do not favor them, they will also submit to the will of peace and reconciliation. And that is why we want to say thanks to all Liberians, especially the ordinary Liberians who stood in the rain, in the sun, walking through rivers, mud and everywhere, organizing with passion, dedication, loyalty, in support of their choice for governance of the country. These people really deserve us to keep this country peaceful. These young men who are riding pimping, these young women who are selling the markets everywhere across the country, they deserve a better country. And the best we can always give them is a country of peace where they can improve their life, grow and develop the country. So I just want to say thank you. We're looking forward to being here again on another episode.
Thank you very much, Bloje Choppy Charlie, and to all of you extended panelists, Mr. Jai Winkin Weird, Mrs. Collins, Mr. Boda, Reverend Addy, and Bishop Haggard and Bishop Reeves, who were with us earlier. I would like to say thank you guys for your continuous contribution to the Horizon. And we hope to see you guys back here next Thursday at 8 p.m. Eastern Time. And to those of you watching us, it's because of you we are here. I would like to say a big thank you, a big shout out to all of you for continuing to support us by being here to be a part of this program and also leaving us your contribution in the comment section. We do really appreciate that, and we can vow to stay committed to bringing you content free of bias to any political institution as a network. And also to our production team, as always, we'd like to thank you so much for your hard work on every episode of the Horizon. Before I draw the curtain to this episode and bid our panelists good night, I would like to bring you just one announcement, and after that, we'll draw the curtain to this episode. This one is an evening of worship with Bishop Cephas Reeves, Intimacy with God through prayer, and that is scheduled for December 9th at 6 p.m., December 9th, 2023 at 6 p.m. at the Asham Chapel International, Baltimore, 6 Azar Code, Baltimore, MD 21227. Again, it's an evening of worship with Bishop Cephas Reeves. Intimacy with God through prayer and worship. So that's it from our announcement folder. And for this, at this point, I would like to say thank you to all of you panelists, and thank you to those of you watching us, and a big thank you to our production team as well. Please join us next week, Thursday at 6 p.m. Eastern Time for another edition of The Horizon. That is episode 12, season 4 of The Horizon. And we hope to see you back here on the Liberia Radio Television Network. Before you leave, make sure you're following this network. You like, share, and subscribe. You've already left us your comment in the comment section, so thank you all for all of that. But until next Thursday, I would like to say a pleasant good evening to all of you.
Thank you.
Now just one, yeah,